What's going on, people? It's been a while. I'm back. Can you believe it? I mean, I didn't really leave, but... Can you believe it? I'm here. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Okay, I gotta fucking reuse. What's the guy's name who got New York? I need to put it in the YouTube Shorts title. New York trial acquitted. I don't know. Daniel Penny. I know nothing about it. I don't care. Not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to put it in the title for clickbait. That's who I am. Get fucked. Get owned. Get trolled. I need to add the YouTube Shorts thing as a... Alright. Fire. Let's go. Okay. Oh, fuck, I didn't update my Stream Deck shit. I didn't turn it on. Oh, fuck, I'm dumb. Well, don't need it. I never... Don't even do twerk break anymore. All we do is read. All we do is read boring stuff. Oops. Oh, by the way, I set up this subathon timer. I'm not doing a subathon right now. I will at some point in the future. Okay, we set that up. I'm done with college now, so I can stream. I was done with college a few days ago, and I didn't stream. But don't worry. This time, for sure, I'll stream. I didn't actually do much. I said I was going to take, like, I was going to have, like, December 7th and 8th and use that to do college stuff, which I did. And then I needed December 9th, too. And that was that. I was done with college on December 9th, but then I just didn't stream for 3 days because I was lazy. Although one day, I did write a blog post. Okay, guys, we have it now. The non-fun Substack is up. Believe it or not, okay? We have it. Hell yeah. Oh, wait, I didn't make the poll. Thoughts on... Listen, I didn't follow any... Okay, the real answer is I don't care at all. Not in the sense of, like, I don't care to see it was dead or whatever. Literally, if I was not streaming, I would not look into it at all. I have not looked into it at all. The only reason I will look into it at all is because I want to farm content out of it. That's the only reason. I don't actually care. I have no feelings on it. I don't. It's irrelevant. I really do not care that much. I just really don't. I don't care. Yeah. Hold on, let me make a poll in the YouTube chat so people remember to like. All right. But yeah, well, I will watch the Piers Morgan thing. I will farm content out of it. The reaction will be bad because I have nothing to add. But guess what? I don't care. What about the implications for health? Well, I mean, I've never done a deep dive in healthcare. I feel like I will at some point. I don't know. Like intuitively, I mean, it's the same position I've always had. Like intuitively, some type of like multi-payer regulated competition thing seems better. Like what Germany has, like what Czechia has, like what Belgium has, like what the Netherlands has. Intuitively, that seems better than like strict single payer for everything. But like, that's basically just an intuition. I've never done a deep dive on all the different countries and all the different healthcare. All I know is that ours suck, and there seem to be other countries that have universal healthcare that don't suck as much. But there also seem to be countries like Canada and the UK who do have a type of universal healthcare that even if it doesn't suck as much, still sucks. I'm assuming our house is not actually on fire. And it's just because I'm gonna stop. I'm assuming my family turned it off. But what a convenient time for that to happen. Thank you. New socialist era. I know you, kind of a little bit. I've seen you around. Seen you in the Three Wonks sphere. I feel like. Yeah. Welcome. But what was I saying? Oh, it seems like those countries have healthcare systems, even if we argue that they don't suck as much, are not as great. It's just like the regulated competition, like, you know, public option of Germany and Czechia. But never looked into it that much, okay? So I don't really care. I only care because I can farm content out of it, like I said. But I am finally back, guys. I did write. I've been here too. Oh, you have? It says your first time chatter. You just followed. Did you ever do an account before? I don't know. Maybe I just don't remember. Maybe I'm a bad streamer. But we did. The non-fun Substack is now up. I already made one post. I'm like halfway done with another post. But I got bored of writing, so I started streaming. But there was one day where I didn't stream, where I was also productive. It's not like I did literally nothing. One day. Don't worry. It's just a post explaining it. We're gonna read more about this today, by the way, because fuck y'all, I clickbaited the fuck out of you. We're just gonna read today, believe it or not. Okay, we're gonna react to like one Piers Morgan thing, and we're gonna read the rest of the stream. Get fucked. But I wrote this Substack, nonfun.blog. I need to come up with a better name because right now, like, it has me. Like when you get the emails like non-fun from non-fun, it's not like, you know, like No Opinion. His name's Noah Smith on it. It's like No Opinion from Noah Smith. Mine's just non-fun from non-fun. I need to come up with a actual name for the blog itself. But we'll do that eventually. Thailand to Uzbekistan. Oh man, I don't know. Myanmar, Pakistan. Wait, I don't. What do I need then? Do I need China? Oh, I don't, I don't know. Afghanistan, right? Because that's, yeah, okay, never mind. I could have also used Tajikistan, but that's a fake, made-up country. Nobody knows Tajikistan, okay? Trivia round. I don't know. I don't. I'm pretty sure this is Thailand. This is Pakistan. This is Afghanistan. I'm glad they're still using the old Afghanistan flag. Dude, it's insane. I understand a little bit the reasoning why. Because, like, you know, the Taliban's the fucking Taliban. And the Free Syrian Army, although I'm pretty sure some of the members used to be members of Al-Qaeda, they are more friendly to the West, supposedly, at least. But all the... Like, everyone has already started using the new Free Syrian Army flag. And, like, everyone, even after 3 years, still uses the old flag of Afghanistan. But, yeah. Wow, first try. Genius. Goated. Okay. Time to learn, okay? Again.
Two stories about violence and vigilance.
Fuck. Again, I know nothing about this. Are you guys ready for the laziest reaction content ever? Okay. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't even know much about healthcare. Intuitively, some type of regulated competition, public option, multi-payer system seems best. But I don't even know that much about healthcare. I don't care about this at all. But I get to farm lazy reaction content out of it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's fucking go, chat.
Vigilantes in New York City, a polarized debate this week, painting a vivid picture of America's divided morality. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot dead in central Manhattan, a few minutes walk from the studio we often use to broadcast this show. The father of two's execution was met with perverse festivity, and yes, even joy. You're supposed to be on the caring, sharing left, where, you know, you believe in the sanctity of life.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, you know, because it feels like...
Kill me, bro. Oh, no.
Maybe not joy, but certainly...
You know what? At least she bites the bullet.
No, certainly not empathy. Because again...
We're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful?
Sound broken or what? What's broken? What's wrong with the sound? What's wrong with it?
Joyful. This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that keep murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people.
Well, there's a massive global backlash to Taylor Lorenz and her joyful admission, but not everyone's lost their moral compass. Taylor did attempt to dig herself out of a hole, but ended up even deeper inside it.
I take that back. Joyful is the wrong word, Piers.
You think?
I said, as I clarified, yeah.
Wow.
You think
okay.
joyful is the wrong word? Yeah,
sure,
I'd say it is.
Vindicated, celebratory, because again, it feels like justice in the system when somebody was...
Wow, much better, bro. Nice save. I get like a... Okay. The actual genuine opinion I have on this, okay? I do have a little bit of opinion. I know I said I have none. I feel like half the point of the democracy is that you don't have to solve problems through violence. If you have an issue with our healthcare system, you can make a civil society group. You can make a law firm that fights on behalf of patients that are screwed over in class action lawsuits. You can make an interest group that lobbies the state or Congress to change these things. You can make a media company focused on all the misuse of or you know, denied claims or whatever, and try to change people's opinions. I feel like we should not be resorting to violence as like a step one here. I don't know. That's a good sign, but again, that's the only like actual opinion I have on that. So like even if this dude is, you know, evil or whatever, and he purposely killed 10,000 people by denying their claims or whatever, I feel like in democracy we kind of have a democracy for a reason. So hopefully we can avoid things like this, and we can vote the murderer out. That's the ideal, and not vigilante violence. I also think it's basically divisive for no reason. Like nothing, like, I mean, people are going to be arguing about this, and it fucking tears society apart, but I don't think it's actually going to do anything to change the healthcare system. So those would be the two reasons I would like lean against it or whatever. But again, I don't care. Never look into this. If I wasn't a streamer, okay, I'd so much rather just be reading right now. Okay, but lazy react content, hell yeah, brother, let's go.
Grimace said it all there. Whether it's joy, celebration, vindication, or justice, it's all plainly wrong. There are clearly problems with the US healthcare system. Some big problems. Medical debt is the biggest cause of bankruptcy. Thousands of people die every year because they lack insurance. That's not good enough. We don't have that problem in my country, for example. But cheering for the death of an innocent man because he decided that he's a symbol of those problems is cheering for anarchy. Luigi Mangione has now been charged with the murder, shouting that his case is an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
It's wrong for him to get killed, but also wrong for the CEO to have his bonus incentivized by denying as many claims as he can. I mean, yeah, you can, I mean, I don't know anything. I don't know if that's true or not. But when you say, was he just incentivized? Is it literally? Are you saying he's incentivized to or his bonus is tied to how many claims he's denied, or is it just like, is this bonus tied to like how well the stock of the company is doing, and you think the stock of the company is automatically going to do better if they just deny a ton of claims or whatever?
Lunatic liberal women are bizarrely publicly drooling over what they perceive to be the hot assassin. The real insult to American intelligence is this infantilizing.
Okay, that's funny though. That's justified because that's funny. Okay, the memes are good, Piers. What you fail to consider.
I compared the reaction from the left to the case of Daniel Penny, a US Marine Corps veteran who was finally acquitted of all charges for the death of Jordan Neely.
I didn't want any type of attention or praise,
Again, never looked into this case. Did not even hear about it until he was acquitted. Until he was already acquitted. No opinions on it. Don't care. Would never look into it if I wasn't doing lazy react content. Let's go.
The guilt I would have felt if someone did get hurt, if he did do what he was threatening to do, would never be able to live with myself. And I'll take 1 million court appearances and
what's up, Boss, you enforcer?
And people hating me just to keep one of those people from getting hurt.
Well, Neely was a tragic figure, that there's no doubt, a homeless drug addict and convict from a broken home. The system failed him. His family structures failed him. That wasn't why he died. He died because he was very aggressively threatening passengers on the subway, yelling he was ready to die or go to jail, and was prepared to potentially kill people for that eventuality. Daniel Penny placed him in a chokehold to restrain him. Other passengers who were on that train testified that they were terrified by Neely.
What is this? Lazy react content, baby. Let's go.
Kind of behavior
also, why is my chat messed up?
But Penny has been condemned by critics. Activist Tim Wise called him a racist, classist, ableist murderer. And on the steps of the courtroom, there was this.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us.
See, like this is exactly what you don't want in a democracy, right? This is probably not the ideal situation. Oh, I forgot, Isaac. You're the CEO murderer Stan. I forgot about that.
For being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Not a mention of what Neely was actually doing to terrorize the passengers on that subway, including women and children. People do not want to randomly jump up and choke you for being loud. That is race baiting and an incitement to violence. We're sick of it. Both of these debates are complicated because of the systemic problems they represent. But for those on the extreme left who have apparently lost their minds this week, let me make it very simple. Protecting terrified subway riders from a violent criminal is good. Murdering a businessman because you don't like his business is bad. End. Well, to debate this, I'm joined by Natalie Winters, co-host of Steve Bannon's War Room, Clay Travis, founder of Outkid.
Why? Why her? Okay.
Joy Gray, the host of the Bad Faith podcast.
I knew she was going to be on this, but
I had Ali, the host of Democracy-ish.
Truly the best people.
I found Taylor Lorenz's performance on Monday night on this show utterly staggering. She was already in hot water for celebrating the death of this executive. To then say that her honest, genuine response to what happened was one of joy. And it was unambiguous. She may have recanted it when she realized what she'd said, but she said it in the moment and she meant it. She felt joyful that an executive, a husband, a father of 2 children, had been
How do you not like the goat? I just feel like it's not a good way to solve problems. It's just I don't. Again, I opened this room with saying I don't know anything about the CEO. It's just, one, it's divisive for no reason. 2, you never want to resort to violence in a democracy. I think half the reason we have democracy is so you don't have to resort to violence to fix these issues.
Executed in the streets of Manhattan. What would you say about that?
Yeah, so 3 things. Number 1, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for the panel or anyone else. I'm against vigilante violence. I think it's bad for a democratic society when people, especially in a country that has more guns than individuals, take matters in their own hand and kill.
True. Thank you.
Unarmed individuals. I think personally that's wrong. Secondly, it's not just a left thing because Taylor does not represent the left as one person.
True, but I don't know if the like and dislike thing was real because or accurate, I should say, because like YouTube removed the actual dislike button and now it's like an extension that I think like estimates it. But like the Ben Shapiro video about it had like 3 times as many dislikes as likes, and there are people like in his comment section saying actually hating the healthcare system isn't a left-wing thing. It's actually yeah, Ben Shapiro, you're wrong on this one, because it was all horseshoe theory. Okay, it's been proven, vindicated. What would you do if those Democrats would fail to pursue the interest of people when it comes to healthcare? Oh, sorry, if democracies did. If the people in power are failing to do something that you want them to do, the reason we have democracy and freedom of speech and all these great things is because you have some amount of control of what the people in power do. You can, 1, vote them out. You can, 2, like I said earlier, like you can form a civil society group to like lobby the state or lobby Congress to fix these issues. You can make a media company that focuses on these issues to publicize the hell out of it. You can spend a ton of money advertising about it. You can even make a fucking PAC. You can make a PAC and donate to candidates, right? You can make there was another thing I mentioned earlier, but yeah, like you can make your own fucking political party. Like, What about if they were a king? This is the reason you don't have a king. Like there's what's the quote? There's only one way to get rid of a king, right? Something like that. There's only one way to get rid of a king. That's so wrong. It's like a there's like a quote or whatever. Like again, like half the reason we have democracy or whatever is to make sure we can solve these issues through not violence. Focusing on the most recent data, 11% of Americans are very. I understand what people are upset about healthcare. I fail to see what that changes.
The murder of Brian Thompson, I thought it was a brutal part.
Oh, sorry, responding to the comment. Okay.
And I, for one, did not celebrate the murder.
Just make your YouTube channel focus on healthcare. I'm not going to just react to this because Micah makes really good content. I'm not just going to lazily react to it. But if you actually want well thought out, what the fuck, well thought out thoughts on healthcare, go watch fucking Micah's video on it. I think he has a I didn't watch this whole video. I just like skimmed through it.
Hello, everybody.
Okay.
Welcome.
This is the only video on healthcare you'll need. Okay. I'm not going to lazily react to it. Okay. Because it has super, because it's actual good video, actual good content. Okay. Okay. This is all you need to understand healthcare. Yeah. What do you think their healthcare comes from?
Not celebrate a violent.
Are you talking to Coconut K or me?
Against
What?
our free and fair elections where people,
True.
some with weapons, attacked the Capitol Police. And then that Capitol Police that was defending the U.S. Capitol and senators was mocked and ridiculed by people on the right. And then finally, I'm really curious, Piers, and I'm sure you are as well. We have some gray hairs. I have never seen this type of response. The fact that this is the one thing that has united so many Americans. When I'm talking about the response to Brian Thompson's murder, you've seen people from the left, from the right, every ethnicity, every gender, people sitting there. And instead of having empathy, you see outrage. Sometimes you see celebration. You see people on social media, on TikTok, on Twitch, on Facebook, using their own, face, saying, this is what's happening. And this is where I think we should really reflect upon why are so many Americans, so many otherwise decent people, not necessarily feeling empathy, also sometimes being celebratory over the murder of a United Healthcare CEO. And I think you talked about it, touched upon it. It's because in this country, so many Americans, because we have such a broken system where we pay so much.
Hell yeah, AZ vocal local. Hell yeah, we Windows. I gotta find who because I got the rap too on like the streamer side for like who the most or who the most viewers were. Captain OK, you were on there. It was only for Twitch, not for YouTube. You guys don't count. It was this is the biggest fans. I don't know exactly how it calculates this. We got Poland, we got Gideok somehow, even though that account is banned now. He has not been here in a while. I really don't know how he's number 2. We got Emerald Z, of course. Localist Party. Are you here yet, Localist? Shout out Localist. Shang Gang Gang, Grumple, shout out Grumple, and Captain OK. Shout out all these people here.
Money, don't have access to healthcare, are denied health insurance, right? They're denied medical treatment. They're denied life-saving medications. United Healthcare has denied 32%, more so than any other company, and they base it on an algorithm. There is a festering resentment and anger and rage that I think has to be confronted. And if you are
also people keep saying they base it on an algorithm, they base it on AI. I really don't. Maybe I'm just too econ brain, but like I really don't see why that's automatically bad. I really don't. Do I have any like more faith in it? I don't know. I really don't know if it would be a net benefit to have it done by humans. I really don't know. Maybe less claims would be denied, but also like more bad claims would probably go through, and that's probably not a good thing either, because then people with actual legitimate claims probably the insurance company doesn't have money to cover like all their shit, right? So like I really don't actually know if it would be a net benefit.
CEO or 1%, you don't have to justify any of this, but you have to look at the reaction, Piers, and say, this is what's happening in America. Why are so many people united? I mean, there was literally on Twitter yesterday when they arrested Luigi, right? There was hashtag free him and pardon. That is something that has to be confronted, and why you see a simmering rage against the 1%, the elitists, and the billionaires.
Okay, Clay Travis, I mean, let me confront that.
Aren't they using the AI that they know to make more mistakes in favor of them, though? I've not heard that. Maybe they are. Again, I've done no research into this. I don't actually care. I really don't care, okay? Really do not care. Lazy react content, though. If they could be doing that, and if they are doing that, that's bad. It's also, I mean, that's obviously in their interest as a company. So it wouldn't surprise me if they are doing that. If you can just link a source, like
it shouldn't need to be confronted. It's disgusting. If you celebrate the death of an executive from a company whose policies you don't agree with, you're disgusting. You're inhumane. If you lack any empathy and are proud of that, or you feel joyful, you are inhumane. It is wrong. I don't care who it is, what political divide they come from, what the policies are. You don't execute people in the street, and you don't get celebrated when you do that.
I agree.
But secondly, Clay, I would say this: this extraordinary phenomenon of so many liberal women brazenly talking about the hot assassin.
Why
As if
woman
somehow the fact that
specifically?
he was,
This is... I don't get this part. Pierce really doesn't like that people are calling him hot. Like this, like people still call Ted Bundy hot. Like it's weird or whatever. But like, really, this is the big issue. Like
looking in some way.
Look,
it's the most important
idea
aspect
that
of
he's
this.
a hot assassin is bonkers to me, Piers. That this would take off as it has is utterly ridiculous. But
really, with the internet, do you go on Twitter? Do you go? Aren't there whole like Tumblr groups dedicated to fucking Ted Bundy or whatever, and like calling him hot? Like,
look, I mean, this was a cold-blooded murder that we were all able to watch take place on the video monitors in Midtown Manhattan, and the thing I would point out is two things that usually happen. One, I do think there's a deeper story here. This is a incredibly privileged, it appears to be alleged, but seems like he is the killer based on all the evidence. He went to a $40,000 a year high school. He has double degrees from an Ivy League institution.
That'd be nice, yeah.
He has all the advantages and privileges that a rich kid in America would have. And he killed an executive who was the son of lower middle class, it appears, parents, who worked his way up based on his own individual merit and accolades. And so you have this incredible, if you want to talk about white privilege, this assassin is maybe the definition of white privilege. And he also used a gun. And usually anytime we have a shooting like this, almost immediately we hear that we need to have gun control. It appears this may have been a gun that he created using some sort of 3D creation, that is some sort of advanced technology.
I haven't seen that.
And we don't hear anything about gun control, and we don't hear anything about white privilege. And so, in addition to the fact that a lot of crazy, broken-brained left-wing women like Taylor Lorenz can't find any man, so they decide to get all turned on by assassins. It's I think evidence of
for real,
how the
brother.
left-wing's brain is broken, and they will use any situation to try to justify that which is unjustifiable.
Yeah, Brianna, let me bring you in. Welcome to Uncensored. I believe it's your debut, so great to have you. Just on the before we get to the shooting and the way it's been celebrated and so on, this whole issue of the hot assassin. You know, I made the point on X earlier. Had this shooter executed a female CEO of a company, of a healthcare company, I don't think any women on the left would have gone public and talked about what a hot assassin he was. Do you?
I frankly don't know that that's true, and I also think we can't erase how many men are also thirsting, frankly, after the claims adjuster,
or as you have been describing, the hot assassin,
Luigi Mangione. But I think the real point is that both sides of the establishment political aisle are desperate to
well, why did I expect anything different from Brianna? I don't know.
Other than the fact that we have perhaps the most perverse healthcare system, or insurance system is a more accurate way to put it, compared to every other similarly wealthy country in the world. The reason you're seeing this outrage and sometimes kind of performative thirsting for the shooter is exactly because
it was 3D printed. Where's the? I did not see that before. It didn't look like it.
68,000 people every year in the United States of America die because people like Brian Thompson, who run companies like United Healthcare, deny insurance claims that could have saved the lives of their loved ones. And while there were a lot of words spent talking about the fear, the real fear of the people on the subway who had encountered Jordan Neely, it's important to note that Jordan Neely hadn't physically engaged with anybody on the subway.
Well, I'm going to come to Jordan. Just to be clear, I'm going to come to. Let's separate the two stories, though.
That was just an aside. So much words, passions, empathy was directed in that direction. But Brian Thompson's actual crimes of having a direct connection to mass death and suffering for tens of thousands of Americans on a yearly basis,
well, you said
I think
crimes.
is going under-examined.
Well, okay, you said crimes. What was the crime?
Unfortunately, the United States, our legal system is designed by people in power who enrich themselves, who don't make denying people's health care that results in mass death.
Yeah, but you called it a crime, though. You called it a crime, but it wasn't a crime. He wasn't a convicted criminal.
I would define it. I would define it closely.
Also, again, if you think it's a crime or whatever, if the insurance company's doing something bad, like class action lawsuit, brother, lawsuit. We have so many mechanisms to address this issue. Again, you can lobby people. You can make a fucking law firm, make a fucking super PAC entirely dedicated to this issue. Okay, Brianna, you are a presumably multimillionaire. I feel like she is, with an audience that you could leverage for this very thing. Like, make a fucking law firm, tell your audience to donate to it, donate some of your own money to it, go to court on behalf of these people, even if it takes a few years. Probably better, and probably better longer term fix than just fucking murdering one dude.
The fact that Luigi allegedly took matters into his own hands is because no political system or legal system in the United States of America has been willing to step up.
Actually, we don't even know that, do we?
The mass murder that's been executed on the part of the American healthcare system.
I would say, look, we don't know really enough about this guy yet. It looks to me like he's a bit of a narcissist.
What do you mean?
I think he was a narcissist. I think that he was clearly unhinged. I'm not sure that he's the great Robin Hood. Hang on.
Which guy? I'm sorry.
Hang on. Luigi, the shooter,
or,
right?
Brian Thompson.
The one who shot Brian Thompson, Luigi, right? I'm just not sure that he's this great, heroic guy standing up against the healthcare system. I suspect
I'm not talking about that. This isn't about Luigi, who may or may not, he's been arrested, he's been charged. We may or may not know that he's the actual shooter. I'm talking about the public reaction to Brian Thompson's death.
No, I understand
we
that.
do know about Brian Thompson.
I understand that.
We know about United Healthcare, and that's the root of the discontent. That's the root of the public outcry. Luigi is just a vessel through which people are expressing their deep frustrations with the American healthcare system. So the question is, if you don't want murders like this to be happening, assassinations to be happening like this in the street,
True.
I'm someone who does not believe in the death penalty and don't condone these kinds of vigilante instances of violence in either case. But if you want to get to the root of why people are so deeply unhappy, you have to, it resonates so deeply with people that this has happened, you have to get to the root of why there is this deep well of tragedy, despair, and outrage in the United States of America. And that has to do with what Brian Thompson has chosen to do with companies like United Healthcare
just to be
to
clear,
the American people.
But just to be clear, before I go to Natalie to respond to that, do you feel any empathy for Brian Thompson and his family?
I have infinite empathy for any individual as a person in their personal capacity. As his role as the CEO of United Healthcare, I'm afraid I'm with the overwhelming majority, bipartisan majority of the American people who say, I'm saving my empathy for people who are much more vulnerable and have caused a lot of
harm. So to be clear, you don't have any empathy for him after he was executed?
That's
I personally don't.
not really what she said.
Well, at least you're
but
honest.
okay.
Let me go to Natalie Winters.
What?
You've got to remember, the left is...
I mean, it's such a... Bro, nobody actually cares about him dying, okay? Nobody cares, okay? Nobody actually, has... I was going to say actually has empathy. It's not like, but like, I care about him dying the same way I care about, 50,000 people dying in, a Syrian earthquake or whatever. And, earthquake in Syria and Turkey. It's sad or whatever. It's sad, but, I didn't know him. Doesn't affect me at all. It's hard to actually get emotional about it or anything. It's a dumb question to ask.
All of them have their Be Kind hashtags. They're the caring ones, the kind ones, and they can't even bring it in their hearts to say they find a shred of empathy for a man who's just being executed, who's the father of children, the husband of a loving wife, and so on. I find that just staggering, that you can't, on a human level, have empathy for the murder of someone, but also make your point about the system in which he was an executive. What's your response?
I mean, it's absolutely shocking. And look, what it gets to the core of is the continued dehumanization of people, because in the sort of culturally Marxist paradigm of oppressor versus oppressed, you're allowed to do whatever you want to someone who has allegedly, or in this case, I'm not a supporter of the United
Unironically, half true though. But it's not really just Marxism anymore, because all the anti-establishment people are binded together. So if you do anything anti-establishment, it's actually based. Okay.
Problems that need to be fixed.
And people on the anti-establishment right will say it's based, and people on the anti-establishment left will say it's based.
Adjusted there, but condoning, which is in effect what these two panelists are doing, the assassination of him by a roundabout way by saying, well, the healthcare system, you just told me that you had absolutely no empathy and that you think what people are doing by gunning down healthcare executives because of bad decisions.
I also said that I do not condone vigilante violence in either instance. So don't misrepresent my view. If you can make your case without telling a lie, miss, then you should do it. I have empathy for the 68 million Americans and their families who are killed every single year.
Oh my God, I cannot understand them at all.
For the 68 million Americans and their families who are killed every single year.
Okay, 60 million American families are killed every year for healthcare? What?
Then you should do it. I have empathy for the 68 million Americans and their families who are killed every single year by the United Healthcare system and their families who are killed every single year.
68 million Americans are killed every single year? That doesn't seem very reasonable.
Don't talk over each other, we can't hear you. Don't talk over each other, we can't hear you. Okay, look, listen, Brianna, I'll let you speak, Brianna. Let Natalie have her say, and then I'll let people respond.
By the way, if you think Luigi Mangione is someone who you maybe have empathy or sympathy for, this is someone who had a very privileged upbringing, background, very wealthy family. The CEO of United Healthcare is someone who came from a working class family, went to state schools, didn't go to the University of Pennsylvania. Like I said, I'm not defending the healthcare system writ large, but to say that you don't have empathy because you view him as an oppressor of the American people is a perversion, not just of the system of law and justice in this country, but that's extreme. You just said you don't have empathy for a man who was murdered in cold blood on the streets of New York. So what do you have for him? Sympathy?
With oppressed language. It seems to be a bit of a kink.
You are so much so that you said you don't have empathy for a murder victim.
Bro, I'm gonna start using that, man. That's awesome. Oh, that's your kink. That's your kink. Oppressor, oppressed.
As a person, interpersonally, of course, he has a family, and those people are feeling grief, and those people, as far as I know, are innocent in all of this. But the question is, here's the real question: why are we asking random pundits, who might personally have been victimized, by the way, by someone like Brian Thompson, why they would have? I honestly think
Brianna Joy Gray might. I don't know what's wrong with her, man. I think she might just be grifting. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know how these two how these how someone who went to Harvard can also be this person. Does not really make sense to me.
Who has empathy for the tens of thousands of Americans who are killed every year by the policies that Brian Thompson has made millions and millions,
Right, Clay,
tens of millions of dollars off of. Why are we talking about the fact that this 25-year-old, 26-year-old perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, went to an Ivy League school when obviously he was so still financially precarious, or obviously we don't know, the facts will come out. But the fact that someone who is relatively privileged in the United States of America can still feel so overwhelmed by our healthcare system that they would go to these lengths, that people who are relatively affluent still find themselves in medical bankruptcy, as you so rightly pointed out earlier, Piers Morgan, that 50% of families that have a cancer diagnosis in their family in the United States of America go bankrupt. That is where the moral outrage should lie. But
Listen,
we
don't get me wrong. Listen, I think
peers who have wealthy, affluent health. The focus seems to be on the family of the millionaire and not on the families of the people who have been terrorized by the healthcare system.
You made your point. Listen, I'm in London at the moment. In the UK, we have the National Health Service. It's free healthcare for all. You know, so I find the whole system in America completely baffling. That a country of your size and power and economic muscle can't have a better system where people don't fall through the cracks in such large numbers. I completely agree.
This guy doesn't seem too happy about that.
To the execution of someone in the street. Clay, I can see you were rolling your eyes there.
It's not a separate issue.
Well, let me bring Clay in.
It is a separate. Piers, I'm in Israel right now. I just been touring a lot of the kibbutzes where there were people who were murdered because they were Jewish. I can't help but see the analogy here. You can be upset with a larger societal issue.
I thought he was gonna say I'm in Israel and I was just touring the kibbutz and the kibbutz were socialist and you want to socialize medicine, but the kibbutz failed because I thought he was gonna make fun of the socialism in the kibbutz. Okay, never mind.
It does not.
That was gonna be. I thought that was gonna be wild. Okay.
Justify murdering people because of it. And if you are making that argument, and Brianna is making that argument, I'm sorry, her brain is broken, because what she is saying is, I'm so upset about the healthcare system that I believe that assassinating an innocent person who has never been convicted of any crime in cold blood on the streets of Manhattan is okay. Then your brain is broken. If you don't have empathy
that's
for
not what I'm saying. And the audience is intelligent enough to have heard what I've actually said.
You said you didn't have empathy for the killing of a man because you were upset about the larger societal issue of healthcare. That is not any different than you saying when you are seeing what happens when someone is killed because they're Jewish, that you're not happy about the situation here. It's justified
millions of Americans who've been victimized by Brian themselves.
A larger societal issue that you don't like. And by the way, this is not a healthcare debate.
Yeah, I want to play two.
It is a healthcare debate.
Hang on.
It's a murder debate.
Yeah,
it's a murder debate, not a healthcare debate.
Why do we care about this one guy? Because content, brother. Content, brother. Divisive content, fiery debate, awesome sauce.
Wait a minute. People are not excited about murder. There are thousands of murders that happen, well, maybe not thousands, but hundreds, whatever, dozens of murders that happen every day in the United States of America. And those perpetrators are not being celebrated by the public. The public right now is feeling empathy for Luigi. They are feeling some kind of catharsis, schadenfreude, whatever you want to call it.
So you're feeling empathy for an executioner, but not the person he executed.
He's a cold-blooded assassin. No one should be feeling empathy for him. He's a rich kid with a broken brain, probably like you.
Okay, I want to play two clips now. I want to play, first of all, the mashup of the reaction to our Taylor Lorenz Joy clip, which has gone very big in America. Let's watch this.
That is this ideology. She has joy for a guy getting murdered in the streets of New York.
I just feel like saying that you feel joy over someone getting assassinated, like even if you do feel that way, I just don't think it's helpful to say that.
She in her mind is like, a man that worked for a company at the highest levels died, so she feels joy. Okay.
And now this woman is all over online on her Substack and elsewhere trying to justify this man's murder, and goes on with Piers Morgan on his YouTube show last night.
Wow, we have a real problem in this country.
Go to nonfun.blog, by the way, new nonfun Substack. One post up already, another post coming either later today or tomorrow. That's my Substack, where I do not justify the murder of CEOs. It's pretty cool.
But there is something deeper, a sickness that is going on in our political class, best exemplified by the absolute nut job, Taylor Lorenz, who used to work for the Washington Post. She appeared on Piers Morgan yesterday, and she said that she felt actual joy when the United Healthcare CEO was murdered on the street.
No, well, John, before I come to you, I want to play Joe Rogan, who interestingly had this take.
I don't think this guy was a professional. I think this guy, if I had to guess, some guy got fucked over. Apparently that company is really bad on denying claims. 34%
denial rate.
The normal's like 16. Yeah. So those guys.
I don't think anybody's going to be crying too hard over that guy.
Yeah, maybe his family, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It's a dirty, dirty business. The business of insurance is fucking gross.
No, John, I mean, it's interesting there. Joe Rogan, he didn't come out and say he felt joyful.
Also, I don't think this girl has said that much on it, but she can't say. She's working for, I don't know how long she's been working for Steve Bannon, but she's working for Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon was literally on January 4th inviting John Eastman on his fucking podcast and saying hey, by the way, Mike Pence has the power to not certify the election, and you guys need to be there and be loud to make sure Mike Pence has the courage to go through you can't say anything on this girl. I don't know how long she's been working for him, but also I'm pretty sure Steve Bannon was streaming on January 6th and was positively covering the rioters. I don't think he was as bad as Alex Jones, but I think he was I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it easily, but I think he was positively covering the rioters. Steve Bannon, Jan 6. I don't know if it's going to be. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure. He was streaming it, and he was positively covering it, but I'd have to look into it more.
Tears being shared, no great expression of sympathy. You know, as Brianna, I mean, I wouldn't have phrased it the way she did, and I think to admit you have no empathy for someone who'd be murdered is very bizarre.
Joe Rogan and I had the same take.
Well, that's what I'm about to make the
Joe
point.
Rogan and I had the exact same
Allow me
take.
to conduct my own interviews, Brianna, if you don't mind. Which I mean, there's not a massive amount of difference in response there. So is there a point here that the issue of healthcare in America is angering so many Americans because of these denial rates and so on, that this was almost an inevitable...
Oh, yeah, also you are right, Kyle. Ben Shapiro does fuck his audio. Some of it is... might be on Pierce's side too, because like, you know, sometimes like I'm sure like they've already applied a compressor like to this, and then when I make my video, like I'll apply sometimes I apply a compressor to my video, so like it double compresses theirs. But yeah, Ben Shapiro does do that a lot.
Conclusion to this, that somebody at some stage was going to turn
I believe someone who just died.
Let me respond to Clay, your question and also
what's the outrage against
first and
Luigi
foremost, I for one have said that I'm against vigilante violence. I have the capacity to feel empathy for unarmed individuals who get killed. What I find fascinating about the framing is, where is the pearl clutching, where is the outrage? It seems very selective, right? So if you're in Israel, Clay, I'm glad you're there. Talk to everyone. Go visit the West Bank and talk to Palestinians if you truly want to have empathy. When we talk about framing, right, I think Clay said, you know, just because you're angry about a system doesn't give you the right to commit vigilante violence. I agree. Just because you're angry and you think that Donald Trump won the 2020 election that he lost, it does not give you the right to be part of an inciting violent insurrection where you hurt and harm Capitol Police, take a shit in the U.S. Capitol. Some people come armed.
Yes, thank you. Do not let them get away with this.
Assassinate people. By the way,
they're not going to condemn it, are they?
Over the weekend,
they're going to do random ass cope.
People, traitors, violent insurrectionists who he called hostages. I see no condemnation. I see celebration from the right. Another story about murder, how common it is. Another Daniel Perry, a white man, a veteran. He was convicted, Piers, just a couple of months ago. He was convicted by a jury of our peers for killing an unarmed white man who was attending a BLM rally with his black girlfriend. Governor Abbott of Texas. Do you know what happened? The story no one talks about. Governor Abbott of Texas pardoned this man who was convicted by a jury for killing an unarmed white man. MAGA celebrates it. So when do we celebrate and when do we not? And right now, to go to your question, this comment that Joe said and what Brianna said and what I said is the reaction to the murder of Brian Thompson is what I'm fascinated about. It is inevitable, I believe, to answer your question directly, in a country, the most powerful, wealthy country on earth, right? That where we pay more money than any other country for healthcare, where so many people, so many adults, their number one debt, Piers, is medical debt. I had a daughter who is a stage 4 cancer survivor. She's 5 years on, she's cancer-free, full liver transplant, she's a little diva. A person like myself, Piers, the only reason I had insurance is through my wife, who's a doctor. We're pretty privileged compared to most people. If I wasn't able to get help from my family and friends, I would be in debt. I would be $200,000 in debt. Piers, I had to do a GoFundMe, and that's me, a person with relative privilege. So look at the reaction right now. And I keep telling people, for CEOs, I mean this sincerely, if you are in healthcare, if you're a billionaire, if you are a CEO, if you're a 1%, look at the bipartisan rage from Brianna to Joe Rogan about the healthcare system, where, you know, millions of Americans...
That's not bipartisan rage. That's just anti-establishment rage, brother. They're on the same side. They're doing the same anti-establishment grift, okay? Don't say bipartisan. Kill me.
Piers, I don't think they're evil. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I know deeply empathetic people who looked at this murder and said, I feel bad for Brian, but you know what? United Healthcare screwed over a lot of people.
Okay.
I have a story. Okay. And the system has to change.
Those balls put all the time. Yeah, I do. I've seen him on Pierce before. I've only ever seen him on Pierce, though. I think he's
I totally agree with that.
doing a good job. He's not going to let them get away, okay, with not condemning January 6th, but getting as mad about people on the left. And also people on the right. I don't know if they've acknowledged that yet, but a bunch of anti-establishment people on the right are celebrating the killing as well.
Let me bring, Natalie, I want to pivot to Daniel Penny now, because it really has been a tale of two vigilante stories, very different stories in my estimation. You know, I'm very pleased that Daniel Perry was acquitted of committing Penny was committed of any crime, because I believe he was a hero. I believe that he was a Marine veteran on the subway who recognized a dangerous situation. He knew nothing about Jordan Neely's background at all. He didn't know that he was a homeless man or he had mental health issues. He didn't know that he had a criminal record as long as his arm, 40 plus offences, including several involving violence, including against old people. He didn't know anything. All he knew was this guy was ranting and raving, talking about killing people, prepared to die, prepared to go to prison for the rest of his life. And in that moment, the military instinct kicked in. It seems to me, I've got a lot of military in my family. It kicked in instinctively. He knew how to restrain him, and he did restrain him. And tragically, Jordan Neely ends up dying. He was high on drugs at the time, but he ends up dying. And I can absolutely have empathy for the death of Jordan Neely. It shouldn't have happened. It was a tragedy, but it was an accident. And Daniel Penny did not want to kill him, obviously. He wanted to stop him potentially killing the passengers, women and children. I was struck by the fact that of the 11 eyewitnesses who gave evidence, 9 of them said it was the most terrifying experience they'd ever had on the subway. Not what Daniel Penny did, what Jordan Neely was doing before Daniel Penny apprehended him and and got him under control. So I don't understand how anyone who looks at this with a logical, common sense brain could possibly construct any argument that says this is the new George Floyd, this was a white supremacist, as they called him, a racist who only picked on Jordan Neely because of his skin color, and by the way, the system betrayed Jordan Neely, and all these things. Really? I just see a deranged, violent guy with a long criminal record threatening to kill people, and somebody, thank God, stepped in to stop him from potentially carrying out his threat.
You also don't see the systemic violence.
Oh, sorry, hang on, Joe. This is
no, I'm sorry.
I will come to all of you. Don't worry. I will come to all of you.
No, it's the same old tired playbook that they've always been using. I mean, it's just race baiting in this case. They're effectively, I think, trying to start a race war. If you look at the way from NAACP to BLM to left-wing outlets have framed this, they always portray the man who died as some Michael Jackson street performer, and Daniel Penny as, a former Marine, right? You can see it in the analytical way that they're approaching this. But I think it even is something that's much worse than this. And what I mean is that you have progressive elites who have pushed soft on crime. That's an understatement. Policies, proposals that lead to the continual release and bailing out of people who've been arrested on 42 separate crimes, including attempted abductions.
It's not entirely wrong, but we never it just never got that big. The defund the police stuff just never got that big in terms of people actually elected. Most of the even a lot of the major blue cities that elected relatively progressive people have unelected them. They've elected relatively pro-policing people. Biden is pro-policing. Maybe he's the fucking president. He's the leader of the Democratic Party. Never got that big.
7-year-olds and beating up and trying to harass.
Trump, you should never let them get away with this. Also, by the way, Trump fucking is gonna pardon all the J6ers.
elderly women and men on public transportation. And as a result of this horrible
policy... Oh, and Trump himself is a criminal, but no one cares about that because those are all fake made-up charges,
these
right?
average working class Americans, the same people that I think these two co-panelists would probably say that they have a lot of empathy for, are forced to suffer the brunt and the negative ramifications of policies that lead to criminals who need to be in jail or insane asylums, plaguing public transportation, especially in New York.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let me go to Brianna. Brianna, I've seen people coming out saying the most ridiculous things about the case. There is zero evidence that there was any racial motivation whatsoever for Daniel Penny's actions. There's zero evidence of him ever being any kind of white supremacist. And the interview he gave last night, he's a publicity shy guy, he doesn't want to get involved in anything like that, who's had his life nearly destroyed by what happened, but says he would do it all over again in the same circumstances. We used to salute people like this. We used to literally give them awards for public service. Why is he being vilified?
So I'm not interested in doing identity politics. That's not my game. I wasn't interested in talking about the race in the other vigilante case, and I'm not especially interested in talking about race in this one. I think, as is often the case when race is evoked in the United States of America, the underlying issue is really class, and this very much is a class issue. This is a person, Jordan Neely, who was clearly in the middle of a mental health episode, who was loud, who was threatening, who was making very grievous threats that I think sincerely scared people in the subway. Look, I'm from New York, Piers. I know what it feels like to feel intimidated by someone who is having some kind of mental episode or is just a violent person in a subway car. And I think it's legitimate to feel afraid, to want to move to the other end of the car like so many passengers did, to want to get off at the next stop, to even call the police. I think what's really unconscionable is that New York City has a $6 billion police budget, and there never seems to be an officer who's actually trained to de-escalate these kinds of situations in the car where they need to. They're out standing at the turnstiles trying to spend tens of thousands of dollars of salary to catch subway invaders who've stolen $2 in change by jumping over a turnstile. I think the critical issue here is the question of how Penny intervened. I think the idea of wanting to intervene to de-escalate and prevent harm from coming to your fellow passengers is heroic. But the question is whether or not he used proportional force and whether he should be responsible if the way that he intervened with physical force before, to be clear, Jordan Neely did anything physical that resulted in the death of Jordan Neely should have legal implications, or whether we should incentivize as a public, just like I'm sure you don't want to incentivize vigilante shooters like Luigi, whether we should incentivize as a public Marines who are trained in the art of killing to go around taking matters into their own hands in a way that leads to the death of our fellow citizens.
So just to be clear, before I go to Clay to respond to that, you would have preferred to wait for potentially Jordan Neely to commit an act of violence before Daniel Penny intervened?
I don't think that you yourself use violence against someone first. I think that's a golden rule that we learn in elementary school, that you don't put your hands on other people.
So you would have preferred him to wait to see if he attacked a woman or a child or whatever, and then it would be okay.
Not at all, Piers. I'm glad you asked for clarification. I think that Daniel Penny could have put his body between Jordan Neely and the other passengers, could have put his hands up, tried to de-escalate, and myriad ways I think we could imagine someone with proper training, like a police officer or a mental health professional, would have done. But I'm asking you, Piers, is it impossible for you to imagine a kind of de-escalation that didn't result in the strangled death of a mentally ill person?
Well, listen, I'll come to Clay now. I mean, Clay, I wasn't there. You weren't there. None of us were there. And we do know it was all over in 6 minutes.
Wait, she was
He
there?
did it waiting for the police to arrive. He apparently applied a military technique where he applied pressure, then he took pressure off, then he applied pressure again. And that's a technique they use for restraining people, which is what the military are taught and trained to do. And clearly something went wrong. We don't know if it was affected by the fact that Jordan Neely was high on drugs and whether that affected things. We just don't know, right? What we do know is he died. And that is a tragedy, and I feel absolute empathy for him and for everyone involved in that. And I feel it for Daniel Penny. But I don't see what Daniel Penny did wrong. He was trying to protect people.
Well, neither does the jury.
Right.
Neither does the jury, Piers. And I think that's the big takeaway here. This was a racially diverse jury in New York City that looked at all the evidence surrounding Daniel Penny, and they unanimously said this guy did absolutely nothing wrong from a criminal context. I think it's a signature victory for people who want there to be a form of law and order.
What was the actual... What was he charged? Was he charged with like actual murder, or was he charged with because there are like different, like if he was just acquitted on you know, first degree murder or whatever, like it makes sense they would never be able to get around that. But like, couldn't you charge him with like it's like negligent homicide or like manslaughter? Was he acquitted? What was the exact charge he was acquitted on? I don't.
In New York City,
I don't know.
I think it's important to recognize that if you couldn't get a conviction, if Alvin Bragg couldn't get a conviction on this case in New York City, it means virtually every jury in the entire
acquitted of criminally negligent homicide. Okay.
nation would have said that there was no crime at all that was committed here by Daniel Penny. I also think it's important. You asked a good question, because there have been and there are people who are saying Daniel Penny is an evil white supremacist who needs to spend the rest of his life in prison, and they're simultaneously having hot flashes over the killer of the United Healthcare CEO.
Exactly.
And how do you analyze that?
What's
to me,
hypocrisy?
it all comes down to intent. Their brains are broken because what we examine in the law is the intent here.
Yeah.
Daniel Penny's intent when he got on the subway that day was not to do anything at all other than take a ride to wherever he was going. And then he felt compelled to act because he saw an issue of violence arise, and he felt like he needed to protect the people that were on that subway car. And the flip side, the killer of the United Healthcare CEO traveled there and in cold blood planned, plotted, and executed as an assassin would, a man he shot with his back against him that never saw the moment that he would be killed. The intent is one, first-degree murder. The intent in the other is try to prevent a potential murder or violent act. They aren't in any way similar, and it really boggles my mind, Piers, that anyone could even try and analogize
Maybe,
the
Chris,
two.
I don't
Because
know.
again, the only way you could come up in that scenario with that situation and in any way analogize them is if you are functionally incapable of applying basic logic.
Let me bring Vijaya in here. I mean, Vijaya, hang on, let Vijaya respond.
I just want to give a response just for people watching why there's a series of responses from a lot of individuals, right? Especially when it comes to people of color, not just people of color, some white people, because they understand the history of America. Systemic violence against people of color, especially black people, by white men, that goes unpunished. I agree with a lot of people that I don't think Daniel Penny, Perry, wanted to kill Jordan Neely. Facts matter. Jordan Neely, according to all the eyewitnesses, did not touch a single person. Yes, he was acting erratic. He threw his jacket. He yelled. He screamed. He said, "I don't care if I live or die." One woman in particular said that she feared that he might have made a lunging motion. That's when he took him in a chokehold. I believe that chokehold lasted too long, 6 minutes. He was killed. There was someone in the video who said he can't breathe. He can't breathe. Neely, the street performer whose mother was killed and stuffed in a suitcase, and after that he had a mental breakdown. He was found not with a gun or a knife. You know what I found in his pocket? A muffin. Before any of the details came out, though, the right wing celebrated this man and this murder, right? The right wing also celebrated the guy, Daniel Perry, the other veteran who killed an unarmed white man. The right wing also
You're being a bit disingenuous, Vijaya, and I'll tell you why.
No, wait.
Well, hang on.
Well, let me tell you this way. Go ahead. Just let me finish.
Okay, you finish, and I'll tell you why you're being disingenuous.
Sure.
Oh,
Please.
boy. Okay.
So Kyle Rittenhouse, also acquitted, celebrated as a hero. The violent insurrectionists, mostly white,
you said that,
celebrated as heroes. Yeah. So you see a double standard here, and a lot of people see, oh, this keeps happening when there's a white man or certain white people who kill black folks. Like example like this. Ahmaud Arbery, a modern-day lynching in Georgia. This man was guilty while running black.
I know Kyle Rittenhouse, obviously, but I have no clue the specifics of the other case he's talking about. So maybe
in his neighborhood, he was jogging in his neighborhood.
Maybe there's something to them, but I really don't know.
The DA at the time, twice, Pierce, refused to bring up charges. The only reason we know about it is a local attorney released the video.
And then they're now in prison for life. Look, the reality here is the only reason Daniel Penny got charged with a crime was because he was white. That's the only reason they charged him in New York City. If this had been a black guy doing what Daniel Penny did, there would have been no charges brought. If he had been choking a white guy, there would have been no charges brought. Let me make this point. This was identity politics.
Let me make this point to Vijaya, which is, you make out, look, the guy just had a muffin on him, right? I mean, what was the need to do what you did? Well, okay, he had a 42 arrest record from 2013 to 2021, so that's an 8 year.
Did anyone know that at the time? Nobody knew that.
Hang on.
No one on the car knew that.
No, I'm just talking about the reality of who Jordan Neely was and what his record was, right?
Right, but the subjective reality in the car is what matters.
Hang on, let me finish. Allow me to finish. You may not want to hear it, but allow me to finish. Right? In 2015, he was arrested for attempting to kidnap a 7-year-old girl.
The guy school of Kyle's mother, that's wild.
He punched a 67-year-old woman as she left a subway station in Lower Manhattan. She got a broken nose, a fractured orbital bone, bruising, swelling, substantial pain to the back of her head in the attack. He pleaded guilty. From January 2020 to August 2021, he was arrested for public lewdness after pulling his pants down, exposing himself to a female stranger, misdemeanor assault for hitting a woman in the face, criminal contempt for violating a restraining
Based.
All three
This guy
cases
sounds
will end up-
awesome.
This is a
Based.
guy with a prolonged history of violence, attempted kidnap, appalling stuff, right? He's not just a guy carrying it. He's not some innocent
I mean, he couldn't.
He's not just some innocent.
He couldn't have. The guy didn't know that, right? Would probably be the argument. Like the guy who restrained him, there was no way he could have known he had a history of criminal violence. Like,
Homeless guy clutching a muffin, right? He's a violent guy.
On the day he was choked to death, he did not touch a single person, and he had a
Right, but let's
muffin
not pretend he was some kind of angel.
But this is, Piers, what I would say.
On the day
what
he
I would
was
say,
choked to
Piers,
death,
this is a failure of
Don't
New
talk
York
over each
City.
other. Clay?
What I would say about what you just laid out.
Brianna, wait a minute, please. If you talk over each other, we can't hear anyone. Listen, please, allow me to bring in each guest when I want to, because otherwise the viewers can't hear a word anyone's saying. I hear this all the time from viewers. Like, get in there, Piers, because they all talk over each other. Clay, then I'll come to you, Brianna.
What I think you're laying out is actually a huge part of this story, Piers, which is the reason Daniel Penny felt compelled to act is because New York City has failed to take violent criminals off the streets despite their violent criminality. Yep. And that is why so many people, including Brianna herself, said they are nervous when they get on the subway in New York City where crime had skyrocketed. The context in which this occurred, the city of New York, which tried to put Daniel Penny in prison, actually failed not only Daniel Penny, but Jordan Neely. Because if they had adequately punished him for the violent acts that he had engaged in, he wouldn't have been on the subway that day, and there wouldn't have been any need at all for the vigilante act to the extent that it's vigilante in any way, which I don't believe it was, and the jury didn't find it was. This is a symptom of the failure of not only New York City, but many other big left-wing blue city, blue state decisions when it comes to prosecuting violent crimes. They lead to more violent crimes, and we end up in situations like these, which never should have occurred. Jordan Neely shouldn't have been on the street that day. He should have been behind bars for his violent acts.
I agree, Brianna.
Well, let me use the exact same logical formulation that our friend here just made. That Luigi Mangione had to act because our legal system and our political system has failed to address the overwhelming crisis of the U.S. health system. That's exactly how you framed it with respect to the vigilante killing of
that is not
Jordan
the same.
Neely.
That is not the same analogy.
Because the state had not intervened. Am I allowed to
disagree with someone?
Yeah, let Brianna finish her point, then I'll bring you in, Natalie. Natalie, I'll bring you in after Brianna. Let Brianna finish her point.
Yeah, I'm not making the argument, but I am parroting exactly the framing that the gentleman there just used. That because the state didn't intervene in the way that he thinks they should have intervened with Jordan Neely. And I agree, and by the way, I agree that the state failed him, not because I think they need to lock mentally ill people up forever and throw away the key, but because we have another crisis in America that's related to this healthcare crisis, that is a healthcare crisis, with respect to not having enough social support for people who are having mental health crisis. Jordan Neely's inability to get the medication that affected his mood, that brought his mood down, is a significant part of the story and comes right back to the healthcare CEO situation. But if you understand, if you believe that it can be a vigilante killing that is justified in your view on the subway, I think you have to look deep within yourself and ask why you're doing so much hand-wringing about the public outcry, the public celebration, Jonathan, again, however you want to describe it, about the CEO killing, when the CEO is responsible.
Because one meant to do it and the other one didn't.
Then Jordan Neely can't ever imagine.
Yes, and also,
hang on, all right, let me bring it.
Jordan Neely has a history of violence.
Of course.
This is important, why the analogy falls apart. Jordan Neely has a history of violence.
which he couldn't have known, right?
That failed
so like,
in New York.
I don't really know if that.
And that's why the action had to.
Oh well, he's going to do the assault and crime thing here. How long was the guy in prison for? Should he have been in prison for longer? I don't know. It's possible New York does some cringe shit on crime. I don't know.
The United Healthcare CEO has never committed any actual crime at all and was doing nothing at all to engage in any kind of violent act that
the way he kills people is legal.
Okay, well, you've made that point already. I want to bring in.
That's a problem.
Okay, I want to bring in Natalie, who's been waiting patiently. I mean, it seems to me there's an obvious difference, which is that Daniel Penny didn't mean to do what happened to Jordan Neely, but quite clearly the shooter of Brian Thompson absolutely meant to do it, planned it, carried it out, executed him without him even knowing what was going on. They are completely different stories.
Yeah, I mean, I really think we should take a step back here, and I don't just mean it because the left is essentially defending violent, homeless people who are attacking and harassing Americans, trying to abduct children, but I mean the fact that this slippery slope logic chain that you're hearing right now is why you saw 2 assassination attempts against President Donald J. Trump. In other words, if you think or you disagree with someone's politics, you are allowed to use outside the system change to try to effectuate whatever goals you may deem appropriate for this country. And by the way, this goes all the way.
God damn, 42 arrests. How long was he actually in prison for? Was he It doesn't say. He had to have been in prison for so many things, right? Or at least I shouldn't say prison, in jail for so many things, right? Or do they literally just let him out every time? Like,
to the top with Alvin Bragg and all the lawfare cases that you saw against President Trump too, which by the way, you want to talk about a waste of resources, how we need more police officers in the train. Well, maybe they shouldn't have spent tens of millions of dollars prosecuting President Donald J. Trump. And by the way, you want to talk about where New York City has had to spend all of its fund. It's on illegal immigration, right? And that goes back to this oppressor versus oppressed narrative, this idea that this country needs to perpetually defend and bail out criminal, in this case criminal aliens, but criminals like Jordan Neely who are harassing everyday working Americans, the same people that you probably think are being screwed over by healthcare CEOs, which I agree in that case, but I don't understand in your worldview how you can both want to support these progressive, soft on crime policies that make the living experience, the lived...
Socialist era, okay? These people on the right, this girl is working for Steve Bannon, who arguably helped incite January 6th. Arguably, he helped incite that. He literally, again, like at his podcast with John Eastman, just lying to his audience that Mike Pence could not certify, or has the power not to certify the election. She should not be able to, the anti-establishment right shouldn't be able to criticize the anti-establishment left for celebrating the killing when all the people on the anti-establishment right are celebrating it too as well.
Experience, the working daily commutes of average Americans, they have to face people, crazy homeless people who are trying to kill them because their tax dollars are being used to house illegal immigrants in homes that are nicer than the very homes that they live in. And by the way, might I just add, I am so down to have a conversation about the healthcare system in this country, but I'm old enough to remember that, the entirety of the left, the Biden White House, weaponized millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to censor the entire conservative movement, saying that we were absolutely crazy because we dared to question where COVID came from. We dared to question, healthcare and big pharma.
Oh, kill me.
Profits on vaccines and mask mandates.
If you're doing this, and no, if you are this far in the anti-establishment right or whatever, no, you don't get to criticize the anti-establishment left for celebrating the killing. Okay, when you wouldn't, motherfucker, or Fauci was the one killed, you wouldn't care. Let's be real here. If Dr. Fauci was shot dead in the same way, most of the right would be celebrating it, right?
It's the whole gamut. So I'm down to have that conversation, but you guys have spent years censoring us, trying to open that conversation, and when we try to put in radical change, make these people melt down.
You know what? I think it's a perfectly valid point, but we're not going to debate that now. Maybe another time.
Piers, can I ask you one small, very quickly?
Yeah.
I think I've been very consistent that I'm against vigilante violence. Yeah. I want to ask, just for posterity and for the audience, and because I've heard the arguments in the framing, Clay and Natalie, do you condemn the violence that took place on January 6th, the violent insurrection incited by Donald Trump? And just over the weekend, Donald Trump said he would pardon these violent insurrectionists who we praise as hostages. Do you condemn that? I condemn it.
Okay, so all of these people have been punished in January 6th, wildly in excess of how violent criminals have been punished.
I don't know. Trump hasn't been punished. The 6 co-conspirators like John Eastman have not been punished. I don't know. A lot of the rioters have been, but it wouldn't surprise me if Eastman and Chesbrough and all those lawyer people end up getting pardoned too. Do you think that they should go to jail?
For virtually every...
He wants to say nobody can't. I guarantee. Does this guy have his own show? I guarantee you. Go to this guy's videos, like when the January 6th people were first being put in trial. He's not gonna be saying, "Oh, I think it's right to put them on trial, but they're suggesting to do it for too long." No, he's gonna be 100% defending it. There's no shot that in his videos he's just like, "Nah, they've been it's just too long."
Their crime in Washington, D.C. So they have done their time. I believe every single one of them should be pardoned.
That's not even... It took years for some of them to go to trial, right? What's up, Tubby? Welcome to the stream. But, give taking Luigi. I don't have a strong opinion on it. My only opinion is that in a democracy, we should try to have mechanisms for which we don't solve problems through violence, and Luigi probably did fail that test. But that's the only opinion I have in it. I don't know. There were people only sentenced this year. So I don't even think this is true. If we just look up Jan 6th rioter sentenced, I'm sure there'll be an article. Yeah, this is this year. 4-man sentence for actions during January 6th Capitol Reach. 8 years in prison, 36 months in prison. These people it takes a while for all these court cases to get through our system, especially if they have good lawyers and appeals and stuff. But in democracy, we should not kill people en masse by denying healthcare. I understand that's an immoral thing to do, but we have mechanisms by which to solve this. Not through violence is the position.
Just like Hunter Biden, who didn't do any of his time, has been pardoned. And by the way, just like virtually every single BLM rioter has been pardoned as well. Is anybody in prison right now?
No clue if that's true. I'm sure some of the BLM... Has Biden pardoned a single BLM rioter? I don't actually know. He could have, but I really don't know. And then Biden pardoned BLM. What was I going to say? I guess some state people might have pardoned people, but I don't know. I don't really think that's analogous or whatever, but like, no, I don't. People have been complaining about it for years. I mean, we've done healthcare reforms in the past. What do you mean? Like, we got the ACA passed. Like, we have mechanisms through solving this, not through violence, clearly, even if they're not being utilized right now. And that's why the problem isn't solved. Like, complaining isn't enough. You do have to actually do things, and things have been done. Like,
is anybody in prison who burned down the Minneapolis police station? Virtually no one who rioted during BLM has been protested. I am very few. I am anti any sort of violent act. I think people should serve punishments. All of them have. I think, in fact, they've been wildly over-punished.
Wait, how did this guy move the needle? What did he do? How did him doing this fix anything? What? Because the other insurance agency started covering anesthesia or whatever. Like really, like
their treatment with everything else that's going on in Washington D.C., where almost every violent felony is actually reduced to a misdemeanor. So
people are not talking about people are. Motherfucker, what do you mean, what might? It's a Share SM7B, brother. What do you mean? Like the B microphones, what everyone uses. Welcome to the stream, Nathan. People are talking about whether the murder is justified. Very few people are actually talking about it's okay, he's just saying this, so big YouTube keeps paying. True.
I believe that the January 6th...
what was I saying? Oh, yeah, people are barely talking about the actual problems with healthcare because of this. They like Brianna Joy Gray like briefly mentioned it or whatever, but like no, they're primarily just talking about like whether vigilante violence is justified.
Political convictees have all served far.
And also, if your position is that people have been complaining about it for years, and like what, then now your position is that at least people are finally talking about it.
In excess what they should have. I believe at this point in time,
actually. No, I listen very carefully. In fact, what Clay was saying, Majahid, he condemns all violence. So he says that those who... I don't know. He said those who committed violence on the day...
When perpetrated by
I've been arguing for years that anybody who riots, anybody who loots, regardless of their motivation, Democrat, Republican, Independent, they should be prosecuted. Yeah. But I believe the January 6th individuals have all been prosecuted in excess. Most of them have already served their time. I would pardon them. I would also, by the way, if you want to get into who Clay Travis would pardon, I would pardon Eric Adams because I think he's being targeted for politics. I think we have to get out of the world of targeting primarily people for...
Bro, no shot. Bro, Eric Adams' grift is gonna work, bro. He is trying. His master plan. You can get away with any crime if you just grift as a Republican and then beg for a party for Trump, okay? Oh, kill me.
Politics from our Department of Justice. I think that has to end.
Before we let everyone go, I want to, given where you are right now, Clay, obviously over in Tel Aviv, I want to start with Majahid here about what Israel has been doing in response to the extraordinary deposing of Bashar al-Assad, the Syrian dictator. Israel's gone in. They struck 350 military sites across Syria. They say they've destroyed most of the country's strategic weapon stockpiles in the last 48 hours. Are they wrong to do that?
Yes, Israel's policy under Benjamin Netanyahu has been the following: de-escalation through escalation. I'm not making that up. That's an exact quote. De-escalation through escalation, which is like saying we will have to kill them to save them. Here we have something remarkable in our lifetime. 6 decades of tyrannical rule of a dictatorship is being overthrown. And we've seen the rebels do something amazing in the past week, Pierce, right? You're seeing not Sunni versus Shia violence, not Sunni versus Christians. They're actually uniting. And preemptively, Israel has done a massive bombing campaign that has taken out their navy.
There were clashes between the Free Syrian Army and the Kurds, though, right? Don't they still occasionally fight each other?
Taking out their missile defense system, taking out their
tanks,
and then saying, by the way, we want peace.
On the map.
This is the same country that is occupying illegally Palestinians, that is building settlements, that has killed over 43,000 Palestinians in Gaza, broken humanitarian laws, committed war crimes, committing more war crimes right now, and also want to remind people that Israel, for the first time in 50 years, has moved troops into a buffer zone in Syria. How does this de-escalate anything? I think this is just...
Well, the buffer zone with a government that no longer exists, which is why they took it. But, sure.
More escalation.
Let me get a response. Clay, I know you've got to go, so let me get a response from you, given you're over there.
Yeah, so I toured the Nova Music Festival yesterday, Piers, where over 400 innocent young men and women of all different backgrounds were brutally murdered by Hamas on October 7th. I also went and toured all the kibbutzes, including Nir Oz, where I talked to people who hid with their children inside of the bomb shelters for hours as their neighbors were brutally murdered and kidnapped by Hamas. So I don't blame Israel at all when it comes to Syria for taking out the weapons, which were almost all provided by Iran and Russia, and would be potentially used against Israel, depending on who ends up in a position of power there. Assad was a bad man, but a lot of bad men have been in power in the Middle East. I'm not sure whether things are going to get better or worse in Syria, but if I'm in Israel right now, if I were an Israeli, I would want as many of the weapons that Syria has that are weapons of war that they could use in the event that these guys who used to be members of Al Qaeda and ISIS, violent terror
Doesn't
groups,
necessarily
come to power.
make it
I'm not sure things are gonna get
justified.
better,
There's plenty
and
of
so I would
things
rather
that
them have
we want that are against international law and not necessarily morally justified. But
less
okay.
weapons than more. And I think it is a continuation of what, to me, is a highly justified and morally just response to the depredations and attacks of
And
October
Clay,
7th by Hamas, which were then followed up with Hezbollah.
Right, and what is the feeling of the people over in Israel? Because Netanyahu was very unpopular after October the 7th for many months, with people wanting the mission against Hamas to go ahead, but also wanting him gone. Very, very.
But tell me, we did do things in the last 20 years. What do you mean multiple states have done healthcare reforms? The federal government did the ACA. Like, thank you very much, Nathan, for the $5. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have done things. Just because we haven't done every single thing you want doesn't mean we haven't done things. Like,
popular. That's completely changed, particularly since the attacks on the Hezbollah terrorists, where 3,000 got targeted with the
ACA, what do you mean ACA is not a reform? ACA was healthcare reform. We might have done everything we wanted, but we made sure that insurance companies had to cover pre-existing conditions. We mandated that everyone get health insurance because of adverse selection issues,
infamous pager attacks, the success he's had militarily against Iran, against Hamas, and so you put it all together, and now obviously what's happened with Assad. Is the feeling that Netanyahu is a lot more popular, a lot stronger than he was perhaps 6 months ago?
I think that's certainly true. The other analogy I would make for Americans is...
Okay, I don't care. Isaac, you here? ICA is neither here nor there. Denial of care still kills and always kills. You said, I was directly... Motherfucker, you're so retarded. You said we haven't done anything in 20 years. I pointed out the ACA was a really big thing that we have done in the last 20 years. And then now you're moving the goalpost to well, this guy still kills people, so... Don't call him that. Sorry, I was being rude, but it was a really dumb goalpost shift. Hold on, let me update my Discord. LGBs should divorce the T. Hashtag hold the line. Thank you very much, Nancy Mace. What?
Is that
what
you mean when you say furries?
Okay. There's also there's drama. Okay, there's drama between the Substackistan members. Okay, because no opinion wrote as I think no opinion and Matt Iglesias or whatever. I think he wrote a blog post too about healthcare. Tubby, first of all, I'm pretty sure it did actually have things that made it harder for insurance companies to deny people, because it had the pre-existing conditions thing. And I would have to look into it. I'm pretty sure it did. And two, you made a claim. We haven't done anything about healthcare in 20 years or whatever. And I made a counterclaim saying, well, the ACA was actually a really big thing that we have done to make healthcare. Do you deny that is what happened? Do you deny that we have done things about healthcare in the last 20 years? Is that still your position? Or is your position now just the fact that he denied claims justifies the murder? These are two different claims that you're making. I was addressing the first claim. Okay, fine, we did some things, but a basic problem exists. Okay, that's fine. Great. Okay. It makes my point easier. He probably did bad things. I haven't looked into it at all, but the vigilante violence is just not how we should want things to be solved in a democracy. It's just not a good sign. we half the reason we have a democracy is to ensure we have mechanisms to solve things without violence. Okay, you can make a law firm that fights for patients. You can make a PAC that funds politicians that support your causes. You can directly lobby politicians on the state and federal level to support your cause. You can do all these things. You can make a media company to publicize these issues. You can do all these things. I don't see how vigilante violence is actually a net benefit. Okay. Also, denials are not why our healthcare is bad. It's medical bankruptcy is why our healthcare is bad. Well, deny. I mean, if you deny someone's claim, then if they have to pay for it out of pocket, then they're gonna be broke. They're gonna go bankrupt or whatever. That'll cost a crap ton of money. 3D printer, $99 or so I've heard. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Maybe it was just Twitter beef. Rule law is overrated. Well, I mean, if you just have that issue, if you just disagree with rule law in principle, then like, why are they all fucked? I think it's because I didn't think expanding the thing would make it bigger for everyone. But we break the rule law to push your interests abroad. One, I don't think the U.S. is particularly bad at breaking international law. Two, rule of law is different than international law, but okay. The future president is above rule of law. That's true to an extent. I don't like how broad the criminal immunity ruling is, but even, I mean, it's for official acts or for core constitutional acts or whatever. It's full immunity, but for official acts of presumptive immunity, you can overcome that. The test for overcoming it is kind of hard to do, but you can, in theory, overcome it. And then, like, for non-official acts, you can prosecute them still. But when United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in the streets in cold blood the other day, a bunch of people gloated and cheered. The jokes came streaming on every social media platform, in the comments underneath every news article. I'm sorry, prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. Someone commented on TikTok. A response that got more than 15,000 likes. Does he have a history of shootings? Denied coverage. Another person wrote under an Instagram post from CNN on X. Someone posted with the caption, "My official response to the UHC CEO murder," an infographic comparing wealth distribution in the late 18th century France to wealth distribution in present day America. Nothing wrong with killing a mass murderer. It's good ethics. I don't think it's a net benefit in a democracy. No. On LinkedIn, where users post with their real names and employment histories, United Health Group had to turn off comments on his post about Thompson's death. Thousands of people were liking and hearting it, with a few even giving the clapping reaction. The company also had to turn off comments in Facebook Reds at midday Thursday. Posts about Thompson had received more than 36,000 laugh rate. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know what they expected. Seems like they should have foreseen that one coming. I don't know what that's about. In general, I think it's a bad look to endorse murder, and I think it's kind of a sign of how stressed out and mentally unbalanced the country is in an era of unrest. The chief suspect who was just apprehended looks like some random crazy guy rather than a leftist ideologue. Is killing people en masse compatible with good democracy? I mean, killing people en masse is like I understand your issue with him denying claims or whatever. I think killing people en masse is intuition pumping something a little harder than denying insurance claims. But I don't know if you're defining killing people en masse as an insurer denying claims, then no, I don't think those preclude each other. No, I don't think that's no, I don't think so. People can vote to kill en masse, so I suppose it could be. Welcome to the stream, Lethal. Not fun. If really good at Subway surfers without even looking. I am. Hell yeah. More fundamentally, I think the outpouring of how do I pronounce that one? At Thompson's killing reflects some deep-seated popular misconceptions about the U.S. healthcare industry. A lot of people, maybe even most people, seem to regard health insurance companies as the main villain in the system, when in fact they're only a very minor source of problems. All my life, Americans have been raging at health insurers. Who could forget this clip from the 1970 movie, As Good as It Gets? It's not hard to understand why people hate health insurers. When you interact with the healthcare system, the providers, the hospital staff, the doctors, the nurses, technicians all just take care of you. The only time they ask for money during your doctor visit is when you pay your copay at the front desk, and that's usually not that big. If the bill is big, they send it to you later. So for the most part, your interaction with providers is just you walking up and asking to be taken care of, and them taking care of you. Your interaction with the health insurer, on the other hand, feels like a struggle against an enemy who wants to destroy you. If you get a big hospital bill days after your visit, it's because the insurer won't cover the whole cost. If the bill is a surprise because the provider didn't tell you that they were out of network, that also feels like it's the insurance company's fault. Why wasn't the provider in network? Even more terrifying is when insurers deny coverage completely, which happens to about 10 to 20% of claims. It feels like you've been robbed. You paid a company a hefty premium every month, and in exchange, you expected them to pay for your healthcare if you needed it, and now you needed it, and they won't even uphold their end of the bargain. Why are you even paying the premium in the first place? So the insurance company knows better than doctors and deny medical decisions. It's murder. You're restricting the life-saving treatment against the request of medical experts. I mean, like, people need insurance. The market provides insurance. I understand we have issues with the market allocation of these resources because it can lead to negative outcomes. But I don't see how any of this. I don't see how any of this makes it a net benefit to just murder the CEO. Yeah. Everyone knows that denying claims is the insurance company's financial interest. The more they can get away with taking your monthly premium and then wrestling their out of their end of the bargain, the more shareholders and executives can walk out with giant bags of money. They're the ones buying huge houses and yachts and whatever on the money they make from finding some technical reason to send you thousands upon thousands of people like you into medical bankruptcy for chemotherapy. Who wouldn't be mad? And yet, when we get a hard look at the question of why Americans pay so much for their healthcare than people elsewhere in the developed world, insurance companies and their profits just aren't a big piece of that story. First of all, insurance companies don't make that much profit. United Healthcare, the group, the company of which Brian Thompson's United Healthcare is a subsidiary, is the most valuable private health insurer in the country in terms of market capitalization and the one with the largest market share. Its net profit margin is just 6.11%. You said the CEO is not a murderer. I didn't say that. What I said is when you say mass killing, it intuition pumps something a little harsher than denying insurance claims to people. I understand maybe you can even justify the position that he is a mass murderer. But to most people, when you say mass murderer, they don't think it's denying insurance claims. Yeah. But you can't really defend yourself in that point. I didn't even make that point. He's not the only one who makes the Maz. I'm saying it's okay to kill a mass murderer. I don't think it's always okay to kill a mass murderer. Is this where? Do you think it's always okay to kill a mass? Like, we get to death penalty. I don't believe it's always a net benefit to kill a mass murderer. I'm broadly utilitarian. If something's not a net benefit, I'm not going to support it. So, like, what's up, Bobby? Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. I beg to differ, Tron. Mitt Romney said our universal healthcare. Our universal healthcare is paid for by the ER. He's not the one who makes the laws. Austin, welcome back, Birdman. That's only about half the average profit margin of companies in S&P 500, and other big insurers are even less profitable. Elevance Health, the second biggest, has a margin between 2 and 4%. Centene's margin is usually around 1 to 2%. Cigna Group's margin is usually around 2 to 3%, and so on. These companies are just making very little profit at all. Okay. Here's another visualization of that. Crazy. Insurance is a contract that's not unlimited care. True. You can see the company's net income, i.e. its total profits, was $23 billion. That's a lot of money, but pales in comparison to the $241 billion that the company spent on medical costs. Even the company's $56 billion operating costs, of which Brian Thompson's own $10 million salary represents 0.018%, are dwarfed by actual medical cost. So since you have a choice, no, he isn't a murderer. Oh, but the insurance company doesn't say you can't have a procedure. They just won't pay for it. Oh, that is true. But I mean, that's true. But like realistically, like your choices are be in debt for the rest of your life if you can even get the money to begin with, or just fucking die. Like, who are you shilling for? You're not being reasonable and impartial. You're just showing how little you value human life. Is that what I'm doing? I think my position to make my position crystal clear, is that I don't believe you should do something unless it's a net benefit. I don't think it's a net benefit, or sorry, more specifically, I think we should try to make rules for society that are likely to be net benefits, okay? As a rule for a democratic society, I don't think it's a net benefit to allow vigilante murder, okay? I think it is I think in a democracy, you can avoid a lot of violence because you have mechanisms for solving things without violence. If you feel like insurance companies are mass murderers, you know what you can do? You can lobby. Again, I listed out these things before. You can lobby your local, state, and federal representatives. You can make a PAC and have you and all your neighbors donate money to the PAC. You can make a media company and have the media company publicize these issues. You can make a law firm and hire lawyers to fight on patients' behalf when they feel like insurance companies have screwed them over. There are so many mechanisms by which you could solve this issue without fucking vigilante violence or whatever. And all those are probably net benefits for society. I don't think allowing people to fucking murder people is a net benefit. I don't think so. You're not one to say what the outcome will be. Where's your magical 8-ball? We can make reasonable assumptions. We're not claiming to know 100% what the outcome will be, but like clearly, I think we can draw reasonable assumptions. Like I don't know 100% that like if I tip this upside down, the liquid will spill out of it because like maybe since last time I drank it, it's solidified somehow. I don't know that 100%, but like I can draw like reasonable assumptions about it. I can know of a pretty high probability that if I tip it over, the drink's gonna spill out. I don't think to make moral claims we have to know 100% what the results are going to be. I think there are like degrees of confidence we can have. Class conscious and private ride. Private insurance is also net negative, which I'm sure you don't disagree with. Yeah, I don't disagree. Well, I would say, again, I haven't done a ton of deep dive into this. I don't think we should totally ban private insurance, but I do think we should have a public option, meaning if we should have a plan that like probably 90% of people are going to be on, which is like the government provided healthcare plan, which is like super cheap and can bring prices down a lot because there's a lot of, because it can, I don't want to say coerce, incentivize providers to bring down costs. Even a company's 50, blah, 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 blah. What I mean to mean is that if United Healthcare Group decided to donate every single dollar of its profit to buying Americans more healthcare, it would only be able to pay for about 9.3% more healthcare than it's already paying for. If it donated all of its executive salary to the effort, it would be not much more than that. What about those denial of coverage, copays, deductibles, and so on? In fact, Americans are paying a smaller percentage of their health costs out of pocket than than people in most rich countries. Note that the song lyric at the top of this post about a woman in anaphylactic shock worrying that she's not going to be able to afford hospital bills is from a band in Australia, not the US. This isn't a coincidence. Although Australian medical costs are fairly low, the proportion they pay out of pocket is unusually high. What is just the share of out of pocket? Wait, I'm confused. Is this measuring like what the bill is, what percent of it you pay out of pocket, or is this measuring? Because like even if the percentage out of pocket is lower, if the American bill is so much higher, then like how much, that's what this is measuring, right? In other words, Americans' much hated private health insurers are paying a higher percent of the cost of Americans' healthcare than government insurance of Sweden and Denmark, the UK are paying. The only reason Americans' bills are higher in the first place is because American care provisions cost so much more in the first place. Okay, so that is what it's just measuring. Okay. On top of all that, health insurance companies don't actually look very inefficient in terms of their administrative costs. Yes, we know that the fragmented U.S. health system is a paperwork nightmare with different providers and insurers drowning each other in forms and approvals. And Elizabeth Warren has claimed that switching to national health insurance would save huge amounts of money by reducing administrative costs. But when we look at United Healthcare Group's operating costs in the diagram above, they're only 22.6% of the actual cost of medical care. In fact, the Kaiser Family Foundation does detailed comparisons between U.S. healthcare spending and spending in other developed countries, and has concluded that most of the excess spending comes from providers, from hospitals, pharma companies, doctors, nurses, tech suppliers, and so on. I'm a doctor. I fight with insurance companies every day. like everyone I work at, I see how destructive they are. You can think they're destructive, but again, that doesn't make it. Can you provide the argument that it's a net benefit to society to? Is your position that we should allow vigilante violence, or what's the position exactly? Is your position that the vigilante violence is a net positive for society, regardless of whether or not it's allowed? The position that you would have to make to stake out to me is that it's a net benefit to society for vigilante violence to happen. That's the position you would have to stake out. And just saying I think insurance companies are bad does not necessarily prove that. My better half is a doctor at the VA. You want to see some absolute BS? Sure. This means that eliminating all administrative waste and inefficiency in the U.S. healthcare system, not just insurance companies, but administration of government insurance programs, could save Americans at most $680 per person per year, and probably not anywhere close to that amount. A few $100 a year is not nothing, but it's a small fraction of the $5,600 more that we pay relative to other countries. So the fundamental reason healthcare costs not so much more is not health insurance companies are lining their pockets. It is not that insurers are an inefficient mess. It's actually the provision of Americans' healthcare itself just costs way more in the first place. The actual people charging you an arm and a leg for your care and putting you at risk of medical bankruptcy are the providers themselves. This smiling doctor who writes you prescriptions and sends you the MRI and refers you to a specialist without ever asking you for money knows for a while that you're going to end up having to wrangle with the insurance company for the cost of all the services. The gentle nurse who sets up your IV doesn't tell you whether each dose of drug through IV could set you back hundreds of dollars, but they know. When the polite administrative assistants at the front desk send you back to treatment without telling you that the services are out of network is because they didn't bother to check. The executives making millions at nonprofit hospitals and the shareholders making billions on the profits of the companies that supplying contract with those hospitals are the people you never see and probably don't even think about. Mental health care in the VA is abysmal. I've heard stories about that before. If I have to compare two evils, one dwarfs the other. You can say that, that's fine, but it doesn't make it a net benefit. Since the claim I'm making has nothing to do with who is the bigger evil, you saying that one is a bigger evil has no staking in my claim. It's not necessary for the success of my argument, whether the healthcare CEO is bad or anything. Who the fuck are you to say what the outcome will be? This is such a dumb position. You make, what do you mean? We can draw reasonable assumptions. Again, I gave the example, if I tip this over, I don't know, maybe since last time we took a sip, it's solidified, but I can be very confident that if I tip this over, the drink is going to spill out because it has done, in fact, solidified. I can make that claim with a high degree of certainty. There are other claims I can make with less of a degree of certainty, but nonetheless still a relatively reasonable degree of certainty. I would say I can make it. I'm 70% confident that this guy killing the fucking CEO is not going to lead to universal healthcare, single payer healthcare like you want or whatever. I think I can make that claim with about 70% certainty. Okay. There's no good reason to believe it does. I'm more confident that just like a PAC would be more efficient at this. Even at absolute universal healthcare, there still needs to push and pull. That is an idiotic assumption. Hey, we'll see, brother. We'll see. I don't know. How many days has it been? Have there been any bills proposed in Congress since then? Has any state pushed for reform? I don't know. That's actually possible at state level. Someone has. I know one assumption. Polymarket bet on universal healthcare, boys. We've got the inside tip. Excessive prices charged by healthcare providers are overwhelmingly the reason why American healthcare costs are so crippling much, but they've outsourced the actual collection of those fees to insurance companies so that your experience in the medical system feels smooth and comfortable. The insurance companies are simply hired to play the bad guy, and they're paid a relatively modest fee for that service. So you get to hate United Healthcare and Cigna, with the real people taking away your life savings and putting you at risk of bankruptcy, get to play Mother Teresa. That man is a doctor. He knows what he's talking about. There will be consequences almost surely. Consequences, what do you mean? Specify. There's too much popular support behind a cause across the political spectrum. If that's true, then why wouldn't it have happened before? Also, I mean, again, you said initially, like literally the first thing you said is like, stop using fancy words to try to convince us your logic is real. What fancy word did I use? I don't know what fancy word I even used. Money and lobbying? Okay. Wait, you can do that without vigilante violence. I don't like what you could do that before. That very guy could have. Actually, here's the real, the opportunity cost of that guy spending the rest of his life in prison is that guy cannot be a lobbyist anymore. That's the opportunity cost of it. Damn, get fucked. You can do it all again. We have mechanisms to solve this without fucking violence. That's half the point of a democracy, is we can do these things. Also, again, the very first thing you said was that people have been talking about this forever or whatever. Which, if that's true, then like, shouldn't we? Then why do we need this like extra push? I don't get it. I don't get how this does anything. The lobbying power of health insurers, I mean. Okay, when you said that there will be, are you stupid? You said there will be consequences almost surely, and I asked you to specify, and you said lobbying and money. What I assumed you were saying is that the consequence of the guy shooting this is going to be like an increased amount of shooting the healthcare CEO. Is going to be increased lobbying and money from people who support healthcare reform. I don't know. Water, solid cup. Can we start doing CEOs right now? While we're done, I have my pink card at my groceries now. I'm starving. True. So the way to make our healthcare system affordable is not to browbeat insurers and hope that they will be able to reduce their profits and pay us to have cheap healthcare. Insurers companies simply do not have power to do that, even if you threaten to shoot them. What we need to do is reduce costs within the actual medical system itself. One idea is to have the government insurance system play hardball with providers, negotiating lower prices. Is what the Biden administration had Medicare do with some drug companies. I'm assuming we missed a word of this. There are some risks to this approach. If executed clumsily, it can suppress innovation. But it's basically what every other rich country does, so the track record is decent. There are also probably other ways to foster competition and increase efficiency in the medical care system. But focusing on all our anger on the middlemen of the U.S.'s bloated healthcare system is just a way of shooting the messenger. No, I said lobbying money to answer your question as to why there hasn't been much political will before. Oh, okay. You apparently have the working memory of the goldfish. Well, literally the message directly before that, you said, I asked you to specify the consequences, and the next message you sent, I thought was a response to that. Not you going back to a point you made earlier, but okay. Update. Matt Brunick argues that insurers really are to blame. He claims that an inefficiency system is a bigger driver cost than I realize because providers have to spend money dealing with insurers, something that KKF members don't include. He also alleges that some of this inefficiency is actually intentional on the part of insurers' guides the way to play themselves out. But I don't think this passes the smell test. If insurers are so good at extracting money from the system, why are they so unprofitable? The average company of the S&P 500 has a profit margin of 12%, but these insurers have a profit margin of 1 to 3%. And if they're good at extracting money from providers, why aren't shareholders and executives who own stock not getting a piece of that money? It doesn't make sense. Also providers at administrative costs don't just include the money providers spend regularly for insurers. It includes the money spent on executives, managers, billing departments to figure out how much to charge patients, $700 for every injecting of IV drugs, or hundreds of dollars for a hospital pillow, or $10,000 for an MRI. So no, I don't buy Brunick's argument here, though I do still agree with him that national health insurance would be a good idea, mostly for negotiating power, not for the administrative cost savings. No, that's not the order of how the conversation went, but okay. Okay. Wow, this guy's not even here. What the hell, Isaac? What the hell? He's playing League. Everyone make fun of this guy. What the fuck? Oh wait, did you say because the docs charge too much? Well, I mean, I was just reading this, but like, this is providers. Doctors aren't really necessarily the ones like setting the prices, but His argument is providers are the ones that do it. Kills when people say the healthcare and military industrial complex are evil and stealing from us, but don't own stocks in those companies. Physician fees are 7% of the system's cost. That's not where the money is going. The argument is not physician fees. The argument is all the providers are overcharging. It's not the providers are overcharging for their services. Not that they are paying doctors too much. I mean, like this goes over, like, the profit margin of these insurance companies are like less than the S&P 500 average. The highest one is 6% or whatever. So like that kind of shows clearly the money's not going to them, right? If their profit margin is relatively low. Single-player system has underdogs. Oh, this is So the CEO wasn't just a greedy man. Who would have guessed? What's the profit margin for an average hospital? 6% is quite high. No, 6% is not. Well, maybe for a hospital, 6% is not quite high when it comes to companies generally. The S&P 500 average was like 12% or whatever. I don't know if I don't know what the average profit margin for a hospital is. Although a lot of hospitals are technically non-profits, right? But like what's what is fucking what's like Eli Lilly's? What's their profit margin? Gibbs is doing it too. He's debating people about it. I don't know who he's. Okay. We've got other stuff to read. We've got other blog posts that I missed while I was being lazy. I think big tech is kind of evil. And if I was to buy stock, they'd at first place our liquid investments. Based. Do you think stock in the United Healthcare, do you think it went up or down? It might have went down. Should we buy the dip? Can you buy the dip? It's gonna go back up, right? Like, this economic myth needs to go away. 6% of Americans are not struggling to get by. Politicians from the left and right sometimes claim, or like to say, that 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. It's a type of statistic that can fit into various economic narratives. For Bernie Sanders, it's an obvious sign that working class have been hollowed out to the benefit of a wealthy elite. For Nikki Haley, it's proof that Biden's inflationary policies have wrecked the country. And for some media outlets, it's the type of negative story that is guaranteed to generate audience engagement. It's also, more importantly, not true. Despite improved job growth and reduced wage inequality, there's still room for improvement in America's economy. And advocating for better policies is still possible without resorting to dubious financial statistics. And for the sake of better journalism and better vibes, I think we should dispel this misguided doomerism. The problem of paycheck to paycheck. So where does this statistic actually come from, and what does it mean? The finding that is most cited by the media and politicians comes from the financial services company Lending Club, which conducts an annual survey called the Paycheck to Paycheck Report on around 4,000 consumers. My portfolio is anemically watching all the healthcare gains enviously. Peace. What you really have to do is compare how many claims they denied compared to other insurers. I understand. I know this company had denied more claims to other insurers or whatever, but I fail to see how that's relevant because it's not necessary for the success of my argument. It doesn't dispute any of my claims, but and how much of the CEO was responsible for it when he took over. First red flag is the survey lacks a standardized definition of living paycheck to paycheck. Since the data is entirely self-reported, it relies on personal interpretation rather than objective financial metrics, making it less reliable than concrete measures of financial well-being like the poverty rate. The urban economist Stephen Hodgkin was skeptical to survey findings, so he inquired with Lending Club about the exact wording of the question that yielded the result. A Lending Club spokesperson responded, stating the phrasing of the question was proprietary information. However, the person did clarify that the intention of the survey was to assess how many Americans rely on their next paycheck to cover the expenses. That's our second red flag. Imagine someone earning $150,000 a year who has monthly expenses that include a $3,000 mortgage, $2,500 in everyday expenses, and $500 in car payments. With the rest of his money being placed in a retirement account, that individual could technically rely on their next paycheck to sustain their lifestyle. Indeed, Lending Club reports that 4 out of 10 high-income earners, those making over $100,000, live paycheck to paycheck. While some of these individuals may be facing genuine financial hardship due to structural issues in our economy, such as high childcare costs, the statistic fails to distinguish between those struggling and those who are financially comfortable but make a lifestyle investment choice that reduce the amount of money in their checking and savings account. The Brookings economist Gary Burtless makes a similar argument, saying he is reasonably confident that a sizable percentage of folks living paycheck to paycheck own the home they live in, have accumulated some savings in a retirement plan, and live fairly comfortable lives compared with that of their grandparents' generation. It's crucial to distinguish between the types of person Burtless is describing and the people who are actually struggling to make ends meet. The Lending Club report actually does include data on this. It's just never covered by any media outlets or used by politicians to make the paycheck claim. Of the survey respondents, only 18.5% of them reported having trouble paying their bills. It's still self-reported data from a dubious source, but if you want a statistic that actually reflects the percentage of Americans who are in a financially difficult position, 18.5% seems much closer to the truth than 60% figure we hear so frequently. The median financial... I should probably take notes on this, but I don't know where to put it. I think I already have some notes in it. In this. Where, how... Earthstar protects insurance companies. If not, you should probably look into it. Nope. I am not familiar. What's the relevance of it? How much has Syria talk gotten into since November 27th and it started a rebel throne? Some crazy shit going down. Yeah, I didn't cover it when it was actually happening or anything. I don't know. I haven't talked about it much on stream or anything. I think I think I didn't stream like for the past 5 days or whatever, and they overthrew the Assad regime in 10 days or whatever. So I missed half of it. I haven't looked, like, it's wild shit. I don't know what to tell you. I'm glad that Assad is gone. Not super confident that the next government will be better. But I have a small amount of hope that it will be. Could be just as bad. I doubt it'll be worse, but it could probably be just as bad. Although I haven't looked into how bad Assad truly was or anything. over 50-year-old regime does in like 2.5 weeks is crazy. I know, yeah, it's wild. But the whatever Iranian crescent is gone. It's dead. Seems to be a good thing. Although I don't know. Maybe the new people will the guy who was leading them, right? I forget his name. His like, not his last name, but his it's not his real last name. His like last pseudonym name is named after the Golan Heights, right? So they don't quite like that Israel has the Golan Heights, and the fact that Israel annexed more of the Golan Heights. Probably not a probably don't like that either. So maybe we'll see if Iran is able to get more shit to Hezbollah from the new government there. But I am hopeful that it's possible that the new government could genuinely be better. They said that they're going to do more free market stuff. That's pretty good. I'm pretty sure the guy, I don't know if he's actually read Why Nations Failed, but the leader or whatever, like, I think he actually has indicated he has actually read some of like Why Nations Fail, or the guy who wrote it, Ace Moglo, is that his name? I don't know how to pronounce it. So we might actually get a decent government there. I would put like a 20% chance of that happening. I think it's likely that it's not going to happen, but there's a chance. Okay, we can be optimistic. We can look on the bright side. There's a chance. Turkey is no friend of Israel, true, and yet a leader of HCS seems to be making a lot of allusions towards the Golan Heights. Yeah. Well, isn't literally what's his name? I think he's the leader of the Free Syrian Army. I don't know why I expected free. The guy, I had to look it up earlier too. Although we see did they name him the interim prime minister or whatever? Okay, maybe it's not this guy. Fuck. Also, I don't know. How much fighting is going on between the rebels and the Kurds? Are they relatively... I know they both didn't like Assad, but are they, like, relatively friendly? I'm pretty sure... I saw, like, I was on the live AU map, like, as the fucking Assad regime was falling, and I saw, like, I think I saw a few things, like, the Free Syrian Army was, like, taking ammunition from the Kurds or whatever in, like, some contested territory, so, like, I don't know, like, how... Are these people? I don't know how that's gonna go. Are they like relatively friendly with the? Are the SDF ever gonna accept being part of Syria, or do they still want their like independent Kurdish state? Oh, also, did you guys see that Trump said he might recognize Somaliland? That would actually probably be a good thing. I'm pretty sure the U.S. basically wants to do it. It's just that the reason we won't do it is because, we upend the rules-based international order, and like, it looks a little weird to like recognize the independence of a new country or whatever, because that hasn't gone through some of like the proper channels yet or whatever. I think like the African Union is supposed to approve it or whatever, but they won't do it. Some of the members won't do it because like some of the members of the African Union have their own people who are in their state that want to break away. Like Mali has people in their state that want to break away. Morocco is occupying Western Sahara, and they're worried that like it's just going to happen there, I think. So I mean, it makes sense why they might not want to do it. But Somaliland is like it's a relatively stable, like democratic government. it basically functions as an independent country already. It just doesn't have formal recognition. It's like relatively anti-China, and it's probably necessary to recognize them to keep them from turning towards China. It's in a strategic position. I think we already had military bases in Djibouti, which is close to it, but like if we would have military bases there or whatever, it's like in a strategic position. So right by where the Houthis are. I forget what the strait is called. The whatever the strait here into the Red Sea, like. If I had to guess, I think Israel will maintain the new buffer near the Golan Heights until Hezbollah is fully pacified. With all the, I mean, didn't they? I don't see a reason why they wouldn't just keep it, because it was an agreement with the old government of Syria, right? That Israel maintain their military on this side of the border, and then Assad would maintain his military on that side of the border at their post. And then the Assad regime collapsed. Assad is no more. That government is no more. And the troops there left. So Israel took over the old post without much fighting, they said. I don't know, like, considering that they've kept the Golan Heights till this time, and even annexed the Golan Heights in 1981, I don't know why they want to just keep this new area too, but... With the new buffer zone in place, Israel fully controls most of the Iranian supply routes in Lebanon. Makes sense. Most likely, Israel will maintain its posture until Hezbollah is drained of Iranian munitions. If anything, it is kind of, I almost wonder, would it have been better to not get the Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire, okay, and continue attacking Hezbollah now that they can't get weapons from Iran as well. But listen, we got the. Maybe that would have been better. Maybe they could have destroyed Hezbollah even more hardcore, if they just waited to sign a ceasefire until after Assad collapsed. If anything, the developments in Syria make Hezbollah more vulnerable, true. That I don't think Israel would be able to not seize the opportunity to continue war with them. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck? I don't, when did I, why do I have an on-screen celebration thing? When did I add this? I don't know if I ever, is this supposed to be showing emotes or something? Thank you very much for the 40 bits. I don't know why it's not, is it doing it? Is it doing something for you guys? It's not doing anything on my screen. Yeah, it's emotes. Wait, do you guys see something on your end? Yes. Oh, you see. Okay. I don't see anything. I was just robbing you guys of bits. Okay, and I didn't want to be robbing you guys. Thank you for the bits, though. I very much appreciate it, both of you guys. Welcome back, Melanin. It's just a bunch of little emotes flying around. Okay. I don't know why I don't see them on my end, but thank you. Thank you for the bits. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't fucking robbing you guys of the bits. But yeah, I actually think it might be good to recognize Somaliland. I've been robbed. I don't know why it doesn't at least like do the donation thing and like it shows the twerking man. It shows that it gave me bits. I'll put this in econ stuff to store. I'm not supposed to be adding to this because like it just makes the problem worse in the future that like I have like a bunch of like random stuff here that isn't sorted at all. But we won't worry about that now. It's fine. We don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about that one. That's good. That's fine. No, it's chill. know what they say. Why today we can put off till tomorrow? Exactly. That's how I got through all of my college classes and did all the work on the last day. I actually did. Actually, for the very last assignments, I actually did do them a little earlier because I wanted to be able to stream and stuff. And I didn't stream, but instead of streaming, you know, like, you know, potentially, do not. Hopefully, my parents aren't watching this because they would be mad. You know, like I had like an English paper that I had to do like 600 words. Just did not do that shit. Just didn't do it. And then, you know what I did do though? We got nonfun.blog, you know, set up. We got, what he started. I'm just getting my general associates in science right now. And then I'll transfer to get an economics degree probably somewhere else later. You know, I think this is like 3,000 words. Some of it's quotes though, so maybe it's only like 2,000 words. If you want to read some econ stuff, nonfun.blog, okay. Getting my master's in data analytics is rough. Damn, nerd. Yeah, I am. Famed non-fun orbiter sample text also goes to school for data analytics. Some of the things he sends me seem a little rough. Oh, not on a blog. Subscribe to the Substack. New posts coming out. New post. Can't wait. Hold on. Where's the? I'll leak it to you guys. I'll leak it. Okay. This is what the. There's a lot of drafts here. Okay. This is the new post. New post. Leaked. This is awesome. This is already like probably over 1,000 words, I think. And then maybe not. A lot of it's a graph. I don't know. It's not done yet. It's still. I've finished one section. I wrote the introduction for this section. I have not even started this section. I don't know shit about econ. Me either. I know what I read. I know I read other blog posts and I combine a bunch of. I don't combine a bunch of other blog. I don't like just copy and paste it or whatever. But I get half of my knowledge from blog posts and half of it from random books I read. So y'all have a pretty good start when you transition to econ. Hopefully. Okay. I think getting into politics helps a lot for sure. Oh, I mean, I mean, on my stream, I think I focus more on economics than I do on politics, honestly. Like, I don't care about any of this new CEO shit. I don't know anything. I don't even know anything about healthcare. All I know is, I don't know, we got like a ton of, like, this is all econ stuff. This is all about tariffs. All of this is basically all of this is tariff stuff, but there's like quite a bit of stuff here for all of this stuff. I don't know. There's like a bunch of stuff about taxes here. A bunch of random other stuff. Most of this stuff is not like filled in. It's just like links that I have saved. Bunch of stuff about the Phillips curve. A lot of links for NGDP targeting that I have not read. Most of these, they should be read. If I haven't read them, I need to make them all read. I think I've read this one. And then the rest of these are... We'll get there one day. Oh, don't worry. We watched the video. We watched the 7-minute Scott Sumner video. Don't worry, guys. We did it.
And adjust monetary policy to keep that nominal spending growth on target.
What's a monetary policy tool?
Okay. Many people on both the left and right. To cite the 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm about to head out right now. Thanks for stopping by, Militant. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate your bits. Hell yeah. Keep it up. I will. Non-fun, not blah. That's the new thing I gotta shill all the time, okay? People make a lot of money on Substack. I think I'm cut out for Substack. I'm not very good at writing. I'm okay at streaming. I enjoy streaming more. But subbed already, don't worry. I appreciate it. I got you. Claim. To support whatever economic narrative. Economic narrative, they support whatever economic narrative they believe in. However, this claim is not true. The number comes from a lending club, it said. Yeah. Lending club survey. They collect answers from about 4,000 people every year in there. I will say in the report. The first issue is they lack a standardized definition of living paycheck to paycheck. The data is self-reported and relies on the individual's interpretation. Not objective metrics. There we go. Finally, I got it right eventually. Well, not right, but close enough. You know, spelling close enough to Google being able to understand what I'm trying to say is right in my book. When asked about the wording, after question by economist Stephen Huskins, they replied that the phrasing was proprietary information. They did at least clarify. They were trying to assess how many Americans rely on their next paycheck to cover their expenses. So someone we're making 150K a year. Oh wait, are these things not work? The Obama soda thing never played, did it? Hold on. Why is that in my only the thing now? Wait, someone redeem. Wait, I can just redeem channel points. Oh no, it is working. Never mind. Okay. Or Putin try to undermine the new Syrian government. I mean, I imagine he'll try, but I don't think he can do much right now. Or really just try to deal with the new rebel gov in order to keep those expensive Russian bases. How long are they gonna? Is he actually gonna keep them? Weren't they like withdrawing all their equipment for them? I don't. Are they actually planning on trying to keep them? I don't imagine the rebels would like that. I don't know. Last I saw, they were like bringing planes there to like quickly try to withdraw all the equipment that they can. Expenses, including 3K mortgage, $2,500 everyday expenses and $500 car payments. With the rest going to retirement. They could state they technically rely on their next paycheck to sustain their lifestyle. Probably why the survey finds that 4 out of 10 high-income households here, I'll do this, that make it more consistent. Okay. Earning over 100K a year, or living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, I've been trading most equipment, TARDIS and a few others, or all that's left. I don't see this as a 0% chance that the rebels might deal with Russia. I don't know if, I mean, I want to put anything at 0, but like, I just don't. Like, what's the, is it really like that? Is it really that hard for them to to storm the bases?
Pick up each other.
I don't know why it would be so hard for them to do that, but some of these individuals may be facing genuine financial hardship, so it's high tracker costs, so it feels to distinguish between those struggling. Okay, so some of these people may still actually be experiencing financial hardship. Survey fails to distinguish those who are and those who aren't struggling. But choose an expensive lifestyle. It's not about being able to see the bases, but in Syria, modern history has always required an outsourced security backer. Assad, that was Russia and Iran. Right now, it seems like it might be Turkey, but it can always turn into Turkey. Always turn to Turkey and Russia. Helped an old lady jump her car today. She lives in my building. I went to check on her. She's Russian with a big pig in a Capitol building, but she said her and her family lives in Israel. Based. What the hell? That's an odd. Actually, it's not that odd of a combination. I guess a lot of the people in Israel were post-Soviet Aliyah people, right? So that was the biggest one. That was the biggest wave of migration, right? Was after the Soviet Union fell. He's probably seen some shit. Didn't know Russians lived there. Yeah, I think look up the post-Soviet Aliyah. I asked her about the war and she didn't understand. Yeah, wait, which one? Yeah, like, oh my god. Third or fourth most spoken language in Israel because of this massive wave. Damn. Wait, what's that? Oh, second English? Honestly, could use your grandma right now. She's trying to give me necklaces. You didn't accept them, bro? You don't want the grandma necklaces? What the hell? Bergen's economist makes a similar argument. He's saying he is reasonably confident in sizable percentage of folks who pay their paycheck on the home they live in, have accumulated savings, blah, blah, blah. It's a crucial distinction between the type of person Berlin is describing the people who are access rarely make ends meet. The Lending Club report doesn't actually include data on this. It's just never covered by the media outlets. A politician making the claim, making the paycheck claim. Out of say respondents, only 18.5% of them reported having trouble paying their bills. Survey also ask what percentage of people struggle to pay their bills. For which only 18.5% replied they do. However, this is still self-reported data from a dubious sort. They're dubious source. My daughter loved it. Oh, you took one based. Many ex-Soviet Jews had to live in pretty bad poverty for a while because they came at a time when housing jobs were in a drought in Israel. Wait, what? $18.5 live paycheck to paycheck. This was 18.5% who reported they have trouble paying bills, but it's still, I mean, like from a, it's not like an actual large academic or government survey. It's from a scam company used to drive media headlines. It's not actually like not like a reputable company. They won't even tell you what the question is. People It's not a sign of a good survey. That's wrong? What do you mean that's wrong? Well, I agree it is wrong, because again, it's from a dumb, dubious source or whatever. It's probably lower. Not funny says when it finished the fourth of my 5 finals. The last one was international trade based. I'm done with all my finals already. I only had 3. Mine were easy though. Yours are probably actually hard. I would guess 50% of people have trouble paying their bills in America. Like 50% of American workers do. What do you define as trouble paying your bills? Anti-Western news sources used to propagandize about this movement with Jews because there was a lot of living conditions that were so bad. Lots of tent cities and drug. Damn, I didn't know you actually had fucking tent cities and drug problems because of this. I guess that makes sense though, but. You have less than 5K in savings. I don't. Well, the median American. I was going to say right here actually. Yeah, the median American has 8K in transaction accounts, checkings, and savings. So, at least 50% have more than that. And if you lost your job, you'd be screwed under a month. 54% of it. Yeah, here's the. I know. He's made like tweets about these claims before, so I've seen the tweets where he mentioned these claims. I know they're going to be in here. 54% of adults have cash savings sufficient for 3 months of expenses. So at least those 54% are doing okay in that respect. People who regularly cite the Lenders Club report are essentially implying 6 out of 10 households regularly make ends meet, and if this is true, the median American household will be in pretty dire financial straits. So let's take some median household financial data to see if that's the case. We can't go any further without acknowledging the work done by Matt Darling, who in addition to being an economist at the Niskayan Center, is the chief debunker of this economic myth on Twitter. Whenever the paycheck-to-paycheck claim pops up in the platform, someone shines the BS bat signal, and Darling appears with the three statistics from the Federal Reserve. 3 statistics from the Federal Reserve. To draw this claim. New further question. Did they release a new one yet for... What state do you live in? I live in North Carolina. I'm biased. Grew up in Chicago. Everyone is poor. Okay, makes sense. This doesn't just complicate a paycheck-to-paycheck narrative, completely disproves the underlying premise. The median American net worth is important because it highlights the distinction between assets and liquidity. While it's certainly true some Americans can easily draw upon their assets and place their paycheck, a median net worth of $200K does point to a greater level of economic security than a paycheck-to-paycheck figure implies. When it comes to liquid cash reserves, the median American... Okay, so... Here, okay, well, I'm assuming, I don't know if I care about that. Okay. When it comes to liquid cash reserves, the median American is not actually entirely reliant on their next paycheck. They do have enough money for groceries, to gas in their car, and other relatively minor and unexpected event that would require them to spend a few $1,000s, according to the same Federal Reserve survey. The number of Americans who can't afford a certain $400 expense is 13%, which while is still far too high for a country like the US, is much lower than we out here. According to the same survey. The Americans who can't afford a set of $400 expenses, 30%. Also lower than we often hear. Isn't this, I don't know what they're counting, because this does have the other number in it. But would be unable to pay. But some of these people would also, yeah, use payday loan, which is not a good sign. Also important thing about American household comparatively, median American household is an income level. They're placed in the top 10% of the world. Real median household income has also made tremendous gains over the past decades, rising by $10,000 after decades of language growth. I spent years getting perfect credit and adult investing, and it's pointless to me. So I sold a house, took out every personal loan, and maxed out every credit card and hoarded cash based. I'm not paying. What the fuck? I don't know if that's a good long-term strategy, brother. Also, increased by around $10,000 in the last decade. Simply put, if someone has the opportunity to be randomly a median household anywhere in the world and at any point in human history, contemporary America is a pretty great choice. Of course, this conversion would be incomplete without acknowledging the rising cost of goods and services in the past few years. When the news media outlets highlight the paycheck statistic, it's usually within this context. However, the recent news here is good too. Wages are outpacing inflation. Consumers are spending more than ever. Is this just a Fred chart? Or yeah, it's just a Fred charts. I already like them like this. And household debt is at all-time low. The percentage of adults who could cover $400 expenses. Okay, so low. Inflation has risen recently. Wages are once again outpacing inflation. Consumers spending more than ever. Household debt is at all-time low. And also, percent of adults who could cover a $400 expense. Completely with cash or equivalents has actually risen by 10% over the last 10 years. So while financial insecurity is a problem, it is a problem that is improving. The right statistic led to the right solutions. Or lead to the right solutions. The biggest problem with perpetuating this economic myth is that it can push people to some wacky policy ideas like dismantling capitalism or imposing blanket tariffs to restore some rose-colored vision of manufacturing in America. Yeah. The biggest issue with this myth is it can be used to justify bad policies like dismantling capitalism or universal tariffs. Again, it's not an argument for policy stasis. There's a lot of debate among economists over how much the middle class has eroded over past centuries. It's undoubtedly true to problems like housing affordability, the pricing necessity of higher education, increased health costs, has fractured the middle class dream for many Americans. We should absolutely pursue policies that make economic opportunity more equitable and the cost of major expenses more affordable. This is the reminder that the United States is not an economic dystopia, but rather a place where most Americans are at least still middle-class families living and have comfortable living standards with a social safety net that keeps millions out of poverty. And if we want to have a conversation about how to improve the lives of the most financially destitute Americans, the poverty rate is still the best metric to use. There are issues. The cost of living in America, especially with housing, education, and healthcare. But the median American still lives a relatively comfortable life. If we want to help the, if we want to help the Americans who are the worst off, the poverty rate is still the best metric to use. Sorry if I blabbed. Really like the stream and Demeter. Have a good night. Thank you, Birdman, for stopping by. No, don't worry. You are permitted to listen. Everyone else here is lurking. Okay, you're the only Chad who's actually chatting. Okay, I love my lurkers too. I appreciate all you guys. The lurkers are valid. Okay, lurking soy boy over here. Specifically, the Anchor Supplemental Poverty Measure allows us to assess long-term trends in poverty after accounting for government transfers such as tax credits and social benefits while adjusting for changes in the cost of living over time. I'm playing Jurassic World again. Oh my god, Kyle, still. Tracks the poverty rate over time, whilst accounting for the cost of living and government transfers. Lurkers are like Twitch cucks. We just like to watch base. True. Yeah, lurking is for YouTube chat. Haven't you guys heard? Since Lyndon B. Johnson's war on poverty, we've made remarkable progress. Still, we have tens of Americans, millions of Americans living in poverty, many of whom are children. We can and should do more to address the fact that our poverty rate is higher than our peer countries, and it will probably take a whole other article such books of lifetime of work to determine the best way to do that. But claiming 6% of Americans are financially destitute doesn't move us any closer to that goal. When politicians and major media outlets regurgitate it, our public discourse is polluted and only reinforces a needless sense of collective economic doom. Since the war on poverty, we made a lot of progress. Millions of Americans are still in poverty. Repeating this economic myth. Doesn't help them. And just pollutes the economic discourse. Do you plan on making more short-term content? Short form, you mean? Seems like the best way to get across the message and establish influence online. Apparently, I don't think streaming... I talked to Micah about this too when I was with him. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I do want to... I like streaming more than I like other things, which is why I do it. And I feel like... I don't know. I feel like I built myself around it, but I do think, the shorter form, pondering politics style like content, or like what Micah does with his short form content, or like what Discord calling chaos. What's happening in the process?
Dynamic no. Tease us.
What is it?
Yo, I was telling you, like.
Bread 2 era? Yeah, I think it, but here's the goal, okay? The blog post. I'm eventually gonna, I don't know how exactly I'm gonna do it. I might make I'm definitely gonna make shorts out of them. Obviously I can't turn the whole blog post into one short. But I'm gonna write these blog posts, and they're basically gonna serve as, basically somewhat of a script for YouTube Shorts. They also might serve as a script for a longer form video. By longer form, still short form, still 5 to 10, 15 minute videos, but not YouTube Shorts, actual horizontal videos. I don't know if I want to put those in a different channel though, if I want to put them on a non-fun channel. It's the issue. Because I think I don't know if it makes much sense to have the stream VODs, heated debates, yelling at people, blah, 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 and then also just have a video hey guys, what's up? Non-fun here. I'm here to talk about the equivalency between an export tax and a tariff. I just don't think that. I don't know how much sense that makes. It does make sense. I might do it. I haven't decided yet, but it's still so young. You can change things up anytime you want. I'm trying to. You're not wrong. I'm not having an existential crisis over here or anything. I'm just I'm just the algorithm, matters a little bit. Okay, that's the concern. Same channel thing can be bad if you think your fans won't fire with it. That's the issue. Is I don't know. I don't know. This guy is channel derangement syndrome. I think it makes sense if I'm making to have one channel dedicated to video. This is what Lonerbox does. Lonerbox is a channel dedicated to video essays, and he also has a channel dedicated to streaming shit. And I don't know if it makes sense. You have 1,000 subs. Yeah, but I don't. But that doesn't. But I feel like it could hurt the growth. If you think random person is more likely to watch your stuff than your subs, I don't know. I don't know. That's the issue. I don't know. But I feel like if I start uploading video essays on this channel, well, I'm also uploading stream VODs or whatever, and so uploading heated debates or whatever. I feel like if this could be negative algorithm effects for people on the non-fun channel only want to watch this heated debates or whatever, so they don't click on the video essays, and the video essays do really poorly, whether they do better on another channel, and it could send the message to YouTube hey, when this guy uploads, we don't know whether people are going to watch his videos because some of his videos do really poorly, so we're not going to recommend the non-fun channel. Whereas if I uploaded them on a second channel, it could make sense. It could make sense, because YouTube would be hey, everyone who subs to this channel actually likes its content and is watching it. So I don't know. YouTube algorithm cares about consistent and decent quality content. It'd be spreading too thin. Would it? I don't know. I really don't care about your channel. Okay. Well, I'm getting. I need Tron and Kylo to fight it out. Okay. You're getting different advice here. What's up?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I hit join and it just kind of tossed me in here.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I thought you might be like here to vet me or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, I had no idea. I just kind of hit join. I thought I was gonna go to like the welcome page or something.
oh, damn. Every video stands on its own and will be killed when the click-through rate and watch time dip. Thank you for the 420 bits, Bubby. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, or another question.
Yeah.
Let's say you become Mogmax in a year. What if Grace balloons in size? I mean, you know, you put all your eggs in one basket. Not even just, it doesn't even have to be Grace, just a person.
More generic,
Do you guys know who Goldberg is?
Nope. Yeah,
So
no.
he's a-
Let me just say, hey,
So
what's
he's
up,
a wrestler.
What's up?
Oh,
So-
the wrestler
So wicked.
Goldberg, yeah.
So I met
Yeah,
him. And
Goldberg's the GOAT.
so last year I went to WrestleMania and I met him and I challenged him to a fight and we did like a face off. Y'all want to see the picture?
Yeah.
Here, wait.
Post it.
Oh, wait. I have a question to everyone here. Because Rick asked this. I want to ask you guys. Do you think it's lame for a first date to buy someone $1,000 UFC ticket?
If you
That's
can,
what you did with Darius.
I said that's
afford,
Depends on the fight. It depends on the fight.
if you can afford it, if $1,000 to a millionaire is not anything. $1,000 to 1,000 there is a lot.
But for
Princess.
Rick,
I'm trying
Did you
to.
do that?
Did you do that,
No,
bro?
Rick was gonna do that. No, I would never do that.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's the dumbest idea I ever heard.
Rick, our
No, but like I feel like if
Yeah, this is
I think a woman to a YouTube fight or a big event.
The only way to make economic content interesting is to try to turn it into a conspiracy. Like, you have to end up listening to the dumbass, like, populist area you live in, okay? You can't. I don't do this with the blog posts. I gotta figure out a way to do it with shorts and stuff. You have to turn it into like evil people are doing evil things. Otherwise, people just don't care. Otherwise, you're just like making like a descriptive claim. People don't care. People care about the conspiracy, okay? They care about the evil people doing evil things, and you have to prove it. No conspiracy. No, you need a conspiracy. You need a conspiracy. You're the guy you're talking about video essays and Mr. Beasters. You need a conspiracy, okay? No one cares if there's no conspiracy.
or UFC.
Yeah, using Sim for his money.
Oh wow! I mean,
yeah, bro, come on.
Like it's not. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound bad. Simp is not. I'm not. I personally, I don't really think I'm a simp, but
the only way
No,
to
but
take
that's how she'll play you as, bro.
Is this guy doing? Is he doing call? I don't know if he's doing call-ins. I don't know.
I'm retarded. Yeah. I don't know.
Panel assist, it's Process. Process is just doing Discord call-ins, and I hopped in.
Just to see how it goes, you know?
But they're talking about
Why don't
dates
you
right now.
do the
I'm not.
Lalo
That's not a place where
Why
I'm.
don't you do the Lalo approach and find someone else with the same name?
I think another way
Okay.
to say it is like, does it seem desperate when you spend $1,000 on a girl for a date?
Depends on how much money you have, Rick. If you are a millionaire, Rick, I don't know your finances, but if you're a millionaire,
I make-
1,000 ain't shit, right?
I
Yeah,
don't
if
like to
you-
tell
if you
another
make it
person how to
bad-
spend their money. If you want to spend your money doing that, you do you.
I make $5 a month.
Oh, well then you got you.
Oh man, there you go. See,
Yeah, you're
dropping those dollars.
Take that bitch
Dude,
there. That's not shit. to
You
that's
you
profit.
make her get $1 cheeseburger, and you just roll with it.
You know,
You got money.
Rick, there are men who don't think that they should spend anything on a woman, that it's just
Yeah.
investing in, you know. So $1,000,
And those
that's
people
quite the
become-
opposite.
Those people become millionaires. I'm just memeing, but yeah.
I'm just saying, if a woman wants to watch a wrestling or an MMA fight for a date, I got a couch and $60 for the pay-per-view. That's all I need.
Damn,
Yeah,
pay-per-view,
And
that's
then
way
yeah,
back.
yeah.
I'm wrestling and
Yeah.
a UFC
There's
fan.
something about the atmosphere. I've been to Baltimore Ravens games, and I'm sorry, but it is different. It's way
No,
better
absolutely.
in a stadium.
College football all the way. I would love to go. I mean, everybody's got their thing. I get it. If that's your
Wait,
thing, that's
what
what I'm saying.
college-
You go for it.
We got college football fans in here?
That's right.
All right, what? All right.
Wait, hold on, guys.
Let me pose a question. We're going all the way, baby.
What's it?
Wait,
My
I'm processing
stream,
this.
wait, shut up. Wait, one second, right. My stream is called Discord Chaos, but I want to hear it one at a time. What do
Wait,
you
I'm
think is
processing.
the
Can I
ideal
come
first
back?
date? Rick, you can answer first.
Bruh.
What's your ideal first date?
No, hold
besides
on. No.
UFC?
Wait. I'm processing. Can I join back? Cause like it's like slow right now. Can I join back?
Yes, join
Of
back.
course, yeah,
please.
you don't have to ask, dude.
Sorry.
My
The
ideal
chaos. The
first
chaos
date-
implies that like
My
you
ideal
can do
first
whatever you
date,
want.
right? It's unique too. Batting cage. It's soft. It's sweet. It's an activity. It's cheap.
I like that.
Batting cage, right?
Yeah.
I like batting cages too.
She takes a
Or even-
baseball to the shin.
I like.
Or even
boxing
doing like a
little
little golf, mini golf, because then you can help with the
Now-
little putter and.
Now, Napstar, we do have a Nighthawk that has the mini golf and the batting cage. That's what I'm genuinely thinking
Oh,
right now.
there we go.
It's a fucking legendary.
Are you
No.
romantic? Is that what you're hearing? That's like adorable. It's so funny. I love that.
What?
I think the ideal first date is on my party yacht because of the implication.
What the
It has to exist, Melanie.
That has to be a horror show. I wouldn't think that.
The ideal
you
first
know.
date is
No, you know.
a dinner and debate. Dinner and debate.
Based.
I truly feel like that would be a decent time for you, Melanie. I feel it.
Yeah, Melanie would be like debating everything you eat, like fucking what you drink and shit. You'd just
I'll
be a
become
nightmare.
vegan don't eat meat in front of me. I'll become a vegan overnight.
Well, actually,
Based.
actually, the T-bone cut is not as rare as
Actually.
That's not how you cut
The
it.
fat
That's not how
percentage
you
in the
cut a
porterhouse
steak.
is.
Oh, and heaven forbid if you get the fucking white button mushrooms on whatever you're getting. And
I'm
like
no
an oyster
mushrooms, but I
mushroom,
do like A1. I do like A1. Hot take.
Oh, you better
Hot
be
take.
naming it.
Home with any girls, Dan.
Bro, I'm a slut. I'm a slut.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have a question for Edward. Edward, did you answer the ideal first date? And I asked because I know you have a heart condition. Do you take that into account before you'd go to something like a batting cage?
Okay, first of all, I'm not feeble. Right? I run. I lift.
Ronnie, Rick
heavy.
is in the waiting room. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
You know that, right, Monty? Can you hear me?
No, what?
You cut out a little bit. What'd you say?
Bro, I said I'm not feeble.
No,
I don't know many people my age who've had a close call with the heart. What is it? A heart infraction.
Fuck. I can't do it.
Infarction.
Dang.
Isn't it like an infarcture or something like that?
I have
Infarction.
I have
Damn.
Whatever.
Isn't
I'm like
that
a
just getting
bio
old?
person.
a stent.
I
in my
take what
heart.
Melanie says. It's the truth.
Oh,
guys
so
hear
you
me?
could go
Can
on
you
like
guys
a
hear me?
roller coaster.
Yeah,
Edward, you could go on with
yeah.
a stent. You could go on like a roller coaster and be fine, right?
Guys,
Okay, well, there we go. Okay,
guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Edward,
Yeah.
we can fucking hear you. You're so definitely.
Edward needs his thing cut up for him. That's how feeble he is.
Melanie's gonna be the doctor who gives
Wait,
Edward
wait.
the clearance.
Wait,
All right,
I don't think
you
like,
guys answer the question.
I'm not feeble. Can you hear me, guys? Do I have this figured out?
Everybody's talking.
What?
It's like I'm not being heard. You tell me when I can talk.
Edward, the floor is
Hey,
yours.
what's up? Wait, no, it's not yet. Not yet.
No, yeah, I wanna
Fawn
make-
and Wicked. I just want to say, hey, what's up? Because you guys.
What's up?
Say hi to Wally. He's a degenerate from BK.
I have
Edward,
no.
the floor is yours.
Wow. Owned.
Edward, what is your ideal date? First
Love you,
date.
Wally.
Okay.
First
First of all, my heart, there's no problems with my heart. I have a stent in my heart. I fucking run. I run miles. I run all the time. I'm always in the gym. I'm not feeble. I could run up steps like crazy. I can beat all of you guys in a race, probably.
I'm
So
Yeah,
now
okay.
that's covered.
Please.
All right.
That's covered. Now, first date, I don't know. You guys might think it's cheesy, but I really love the ideas of wine tasting in a vineyard, where you just walk in, traveling through all these vineyards, and you're wine tasting all day long.
Plus, you get extra chances to slip something in her drink.
Now, Edward, I've seen you shirtless because you've been shirtless, and you have a tattoo on your heart. Does that add to the finesse as well?
Well, I'm gonna cover more of this because I'm like Spanish.
Yeah.
And so what I was gonna do is do more tattoos of Spanish, European, Christian motifs. Even like even in Queen Isabella tattoo also.
Now,
In small little
I
parts.
think a great follow-up question.
One second, Dan.
Immediate.
No, wait, we're not asking more questions until everyone answers this. So
That's why I was going to
what
direct
is-
it to Monty immediately. Come on, I'm trying to wingman. Prawn says,
Okay,
let me-
so the host of the show is talking, and you should let Francis say something.
If that's true, Dan, I do appreciate that. They're gonna.
Thank you, Monty. Please talk. What's your ideal first date? Is it vineyards?
Unfortunately, not vineyards. I find that to be quite boring because I don't drink. But ideal first date, probably minor league baseball game because those are really cheesy and really fun. My favorite one had cowboy monkey rodeo, dogs dressed like cowboys dressed like monkeys dressed like cowboys riding dogs. There you go. Great. I also saw a man shoot himself at a cannon. That was wonderful. So I love minor league baseball.
Let's do like an icebreaker. Monty, who should answer next?
Hold up.
Who should answer next?
Yeah.
Can I?
Not it.
Non-fun.
I'll answer, sure.
Let's hear Dan. Dan and then
I answered
Napster.
first. I answered first, so
Oh, did you? Okay, Napster.
Pass it to non-fun.
Sure,
Yeah,
I think I would just go to like an amusement park and then go back to my house and play fucking like Minecraft or Guitar Hero, something like that. That's the ideal.
Amusement park. Nice.
Ask her to play League of Legends.
I would sooner kill off myself end game, but
Wait, non-fun. Are you a coaster person?
a what person?
Roller coaster person. Are you big into coasters?
Oh, I kinda, yeah. I like amusement parks. I like roller coasters, yeah.
Do you have a favorite one?
I mean, a favorite roller coaster or a favorite park?
Roller coaster.
Yeah, Steel Vengeance, obviously. Is that even a question?
I mean,
Nonsense.
I
Do you
haven't
like?
done Superman, but I
Sorry,
do like.
Bowen.
I've heard a lot about it.
I've actually
Nonsense. Do you like those wooden roller coasters? Those big wooden ones, those old ones?
Not really. I mean, I don't hate them or anything. I ride them. I enjoy them, but they're not
The
preferable.
tallest one here in Texas, in San Antonio.
Yeah,
Really? Oh shit, maybe I should go there.
Yeah, the tallest wooden one. But damn, like your back, like oh my god, like those things wreck you because they're so like rickety. I didn't know you were a roller coaster connoisseur.
What are you?
They have no
on
wheel for your
smoking on
side-to-side
stream,
motion.
bro? It's medicated, don't worry. Yeah, actually, some of the sketchiest ones I've been on are the wooden coasters. Yeah, like the steel ones are way more like fluid in a way.
But that,
Yeah.
I've been on the one in Canada's Wonderland in Toronto, and it kind of makes the sketchiness and the speed that you're going at makes it worth it.
No, I mean that was really fun. I will
Yeah.
say, I had to look up where Steel Vengeance was. I fucking hate Cedar Point because I had the worst time when I went as a kid. I went there on a school trip one time, and I guess it was too windy. I forgot the coaster. They like coaster it was like straight
I'll be right
up
back.
and then straight down. And because it was so windy, like they shut it down. And
Oh, yeah.
we just like waited 3 hours and then they shut it down. I was like,
Mm.
fuck. So I left like riding almost nothing. I was so bummed.
I've ridden Intimidator 305. It's actually 305 feet of adrenaline intensity. It was amazing. It was amazing.
I do like roller
You,
coasters. I like them.
you remember like the black kid like that died from like falling off the roller coaster?
I think
Oh, it's
I do,
happened a
actually.
lot.
It was a drop tower. The most recent
Yeah,
one was
yeah,
a
yeah.
drop tower. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, like I think like 2 days ago, I saw like on YouTube that like they won a lawsuit or something, and like with the settlement. That's crazy, man. That's pretty crazy. A lot of money.
Yeah, I
Man.
think he got like $200 million or something like that. Something crazy.
And honestly, I'll be honest. Like if one of my like brothers or like, relatives like passed away on like on a roller coaster, like I mean, what's the point of like I mean, it's not gonna bring the person back, you know.
I was
We
just
need to bring back
I-
Action Park.
Is 200 million?
Action Park, yeah.
Yeah, bring it back. Bring back Action Park.
We need
I have
more
a second
we need
favorite.
more loops and water parks.
And this is one of those coasters that if you guys can ever find like a POV version of this, it's so worth it. It's called Dragon Mountain from Marineland. This was the first coaster I ever went on. I went on with my grandma. But like this is one of those coasters. It was kind of like Superman, where it has all this ground action stuff and then lots of great airtime. Yeah, cool, Dan. Do you want to get super muted if you're gonna interrupt me? Okay, you're gonna interrupt me. Cool.
Hey, I will say,
All right, that was good.
You guys are both moderators now, so have fun. Balance each other out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, hey, Rick, I was waiting to see that Goldberg pick.
Dude, I was gonna send it, but I can't send it. Like the chat doesn't load up. I really want to send it.
All right. Just send it in the process. The Discord process.
All right. I'll send it. Oh, you tell me what you think.
Rick,
Sorry, let me talk for 1 second. Sorry, I want to. Sorry, because actually, I can.
Yo, Goldberg was a fucking big guy, dude. Goldberg was he like 6'3", 6'4", dude. Crazy. Hold on. Yo.
I don't know if Francis knows it. He got muted. I don't know if he's like talking.
I sent it. Yo, you saw it?
I think he's talking to his chat.
Thank you, Edward. Because wait, are we not supposed to talk?
Wait. The free-fall ride did not have seatbelts. According to its family civil action, Samson, who weighed 383 pounds, exceeded the ride's 285-pound weight limit. What does it mean? When it says it doesn't have seatbelts, does that mean it? That means it had just the hydraulic restraints or whatever, right? What happened? Is this a video? Yeah, it has restraints still. How do you fall out of? Yeah, those are restraints, right? They go over your shoulders. Okay.
Yo, bro. Yeah, bro, I sent the picture, dog.
Yeah, I saw it. That's cool. Yeah, Goldberg is a beast. Goldberg's a beast.
Are you also a wrestling fan or no?
What's that?
No, wait. You're me.
Are you a wrestling fan?
Yeah, I still watch every now and then. Just to kill time.
I'm you guys thinking like taking a girl out to like a pro wrestling show is good?
I think UFC is better. Genuine.
Yeah, but it's expensive though. It's expensive.
Oh, you did just get a $2 donation. Can we get some hype for the $2 donation? Shout out Esoteric or Maxism.
Esoteric or
that's a real
Maxism.
no-no.
Esoteric or Maxism.
The TTS isn't working. I can hear it. I'll figure it out.
Contest. What about like if you want to do like what were you when you were debating Mel? Not this Mel, and they were doing the speed round. People were like asking. You could do that if you want.
Hey, get James in here. James, if you can hear me, get in here.
James.
But Rick, question. Can I ask Rick a question, Princess?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you're like giving announcements.
Oh, now we got some donos. Shout out to James. Shout out to OPC Dawn.
You're getting flooded with
James gave $2. Oh no, $2. Let's go. Oh, sorry.
What is this thing?
Chat, how come you let Princess get donations and not me? What the hell? Does Princess have more subs than me yet?
He got monetized not too long ago.
What are you gonna do with $6 whole?
Not quite.
That is 2 Red Bulls at a 7-Eleven.
30%.
Yeah, that's some Red Bull money.
You don't
and
even
some...
get the full 6.
Oh, so yeah, it's like a 30% cut that YouTube takes.
Yeah.
It's like $1.50.
I think YouTube takes 45. I think you keep 55. But I mean, it's not nothing.
It feels good though.
They add up.
Dopamine hit feels good.
I mean, like if you get so little revenue from like ads, so like the $6 donation is like twice what you make off of ads on the stream. So like it's a lot of it's a lot relatively.
Right. Princess can now.
Well, I don't know. Princess gets more viewers than me, so he might get more. I don't know.
Prawn got to crawl before he walks, so you got to make those baby steps.
Right now it's
says
$2,
you have to read the
but
message.
for now it'll be
What
$5.
if, oh, Edward,
We got a
Edward.
true pay pig in the
What if,
building. We have a true pay pig in the building. $4.99.
Who's the pay pig? Yeah, there's Edward,
I'm
the first
telling
pay
you,
pig.
Edward is in Fancy Pants Town. He's a.
All right.
Yeah, you need to put that on stream, like who the latest pay pig is. And then,
Damn,
like, it was
gotta make an ornament. Make an ornament for
I
Edward.
misspelt it.
And everyone can bid to be the biggest
God.
pay pig.
Fork the bucket.
Fork the bucket.
Fork the bucket.
Fork the bucket. God damn it.
Fork the bucket.
I like Fort Henry better.
I used to live by Fort Armstead. It was actually, and this is a true story, I'm not even memeing. It is the fort that was right by that cargo ship that took down that bridge in Baltimore. There was a smoke spot right by it that you could sit and watch the water, and like, yeah, that was where Fort Armstead is, where the cargo ship took down everything. Very close.
What
to
you're
where I
saying
live.
is there's a non-zero chance you were involved in that accident.
Yeah,
All right, I don't care. How long is this video? Hour 24 minutes. I gotta start streaming earlier. Okay. Alright. I promise I will be back tomorrow. I will stream for a real stream. By that I mean more than just 3 hours. Done with college shit. Go to nonfun.blog for shit to read there. Yeah, I'll set up more debates. I don't know. Nothing interesting to me has happened recently. Okay, I liked we were all talking about the tariffs for a little bit, and that's my thing. That's my thing. Thank you, Nathan. That's my thing. But then we all moved on to killing CEOs. I don't care. If it was like, I mean, I might like, I don't know, like maybe I feel like people have already kind of moved on. We're already, I mean, Wick already did his panel on it. I think Gibbs did a panel on it too. I don't know. I don't care. I think if we ever do tariffs again, or not just tariffs again, any like economic stuff, that's my shit. Jan 6 stuff, I know a little bit about. Need to read more in it. We will do a deep dive into healthcare at some point. Because again, all I have is like the intuition. We'll get there. Don't worry. It's the intuition. Like, oh, you know, whatever multi-payer system seems better. God, why did this? Hold on, this fucked everything up. Okay, all the chats good now. That's really. I need to make the panel thing better, man. I don't know how to do that though. I did. You'll see there's like a pause thing there. I have it set up to do a subathon. We will do a subathon soon. I don't think it'll actually be that long. I'll set the timer to be like a 5-hour stream at start, and then like, you know, donations and bits and even follows will add to the time. So like there'll be I expect it to be like 12 hours at the most or something. Just because like people can follow and that'll add like 5 minutes or whatever. I don't even think we'll go that long. I think we'll maybe go like 6 hours. But that'll be fun. Yeah, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. See you all tomorrow. Not fun up blog. I'd rather you talk about long-lasting issues rather than just fads and breaking news. Yeah, I never do that. I never this is not a good strategy as a streamer. I never do the fucking like, oh, Kamala Harris just did this interview and here's what I thought she did well. Here's what I thought, I don't do like I don't do what like Wick does with hosting panels like every day about like the relevant topic. I never do what like like what Pondering Politics does and like have make 2 videos a day about like the relevant news and like the interviews that happened like that day. I just like talking about what I like talking about and I like reading what I like reading. So I guess head over to Gibbs. Appreciate you guys. I will stream tomorrow. Love you guys. Love streaming. Love you guys. Let me do this. Done with college. So again, we'll be doing that stuff soon. It'll be nice to see you all there.